Oh, okay. Cool. Whatever. Cool. All right. Here we go. Kick that shit. Now let's rock with the people's back, folks, and get to the podcast. What's up, y'all? Beyond the Harmony, beyondtheharmony.com. I am Cecil West with the one and only
Johnny 5 coming at you live.
And
Episode 1.
Hopefully, let's start with this. Let's make sure everybody is hearing us loud and clear. I don't know how much of a delay we're on. We're going to work through some kinks tonight, kids. You know that this is the first time we've done this. This is brand new. So let's work through this together. Hopefully we don't have too many connection issues tonight, but definitely let us know what's going on in that chat. We're going to keep an eye on the chat and hopefully be taking some calls. So just let me know if you're hearing me and let me know if you guys are hearing John in that chat. John, what?
All right.
Oh, perfect. Okay, I got one that they hear me. We'll just make sure they hear you and we'll get with it. But John, I'm feeling pretty good, man. This is nice. This feels like home.
Yeah, man. This is one of those things on our list. There's a lot of objectives that we had with Beyond the Harmony before we even started a single episode, and one of the things was to finally get a live show going where we could interact directly with the Beyond the Harmony fam and have people call in and have it be like a real radio show where everybody gets to communicate. And here we are.
Yeah.
A year later.
Yeah, the show's been just about a year. Thank you guys all so much for just being awesome, just being, you guys have kept us in business. It's crazy when you start something like this. You're like, are people gonna listen? Are people gonna call in, or people just even gonna listen? Never mind, get to the point where we got call in. So here we are. It's been about a year. We got a lot to go over in this episode. Talk about some things, and then we're gonna get some calls. We're not doing calls yet, but I hope you guys are ready to call in. Hopefully we get some calls, man. That who really knows, but hopefully some of you guys are gonna give us a call tonight as well.
Yeah, we just got some housekeeping stuff to cover at the beginning, and then we'll open up the lines. So how you want to start this? You want to recap what we've done in this off season, because we still are in the off season.
Yeah, it is the off season, gearing up for a very exciting season 2. Just so you guys know, what we've been doing in the off season is just plotting out what's gonna go down in season 2, and we've already started to set up some really just exciting interviews. I'm not going to give any of them away, but there's some great interviews coming in season 2. Some new segments. We're going to do some different things. We're going to do kind of like the question of the day with some of the guests as well. So there's a segment I'll let you guys kind of know about. So, we're just going to do some kind of questions of the day with the guests and get what they think about some of these things as well. So we can kind of have some fun with some of these guests. So season 2, we are gearing up, and we've been trying some things, to see what works. And this is one of those things, and I hope it works. It looks like it's working right now. I do see we have quite a bit of delay, John, just so you know, from our chat room to us. Yeah. So, there were, getting it kind of late, but that's all right. We're going to make that work too. I'm not too worried about that.
Yeah, I noticed that when we first went live. So I was talking, and then I heard the stream begin. Like after you started talking, and I was like, "Oh, wait a minute, what's going on?" And then I paused it. But also, I want to let everybody know that in season one, the way we were doing it, I hope you guys realize our audio sounds hopefully better now. And there was a lot of back end stuff that we had to do. It was really painful, so much pain. There's a labor of love. There's a point where you're like, oh man, this is getting to be a burden. And then out of thin air, a better way came about, and that breathed new life into Beyond the Harmony. And I think we're going to be able to produce a lot more content as well now that some of the technical difficulties have been resolved.
Yeah, yeah, that kind of saved the show. I love doing it, but we were putting so many hours, in, so many hours in making it happen, and that really helped save the show. And man, I can't believe we're here. The delay kills me a little bit. It's a little hard um, to just stay interactive with you guys with the delay. So hopefully we'll be able to work through that. But I mean, I say we just get into it, bro. We should get into some bone, and I know we got some. I know we have some housekeeping, but I think we got a lot of time. We can come back to it. Um, you know what? We're gonna do a live question of the day tonight too. That way we can get the answers from you guys live. What do you think of that, John? We'll do a live question of the day.
Hey, let's do it. I think that's the way the questions of the day should be anyway, just so that, because I could imagine some of the stuff I say in the
I know we
questions of the
got
day probably
some.
really provoke people, and they just want to, get their piece in, and here's their opportunity to kind of do it live as we do it, although there is a slight delay here, so we'll see how that goes. And I just want to put in real quick, just in case I see Fernando was asking what happened. It was difficult for Cecil to mix down a lot of the audio because we had all different inputs. So that you had my mic, you had Cecil's mic, and then you had our guest's mic, and the guest mic was coming from a telephone. So imagine trying to put those three together in post production. I guess after the show you have to put all the audio together, and that was a pretty rough task for Cecil to have to line up everybody's audio. And there's things like bit rates, so every now and then our bit rates wouldn't match.
Yeah,
And at the beginning, it's not so bad, but over the course of an hour to 2 hours, when the bit rates don't match, then everything falls out of sync. And then what would have taken, 2 hours to edit, and it suddenly becomes 4 hours
yeah,
for
it was
something
wild.
that we shouldn't even have to edit. So,
But it's all good. We got a good way, and we're here now. And shit, when we do it live, I don't even have to edit it. So we got some topics. I think out of the gate, you know what? Let's just start with something fun. Do you want to start with the question of the day, or do you want to start with the topic, Johnny?
oh, let's start with the question of the day. Why not? Let's get it fired up.
All right. I mean, this is a good one. I'm gonna make you think right out of the fucking gate.
Okay.
All
Yeah,
right.
because I don't even know what the question is. Sometimes, most of the time, I kind of know, but in this case, I'm kind of blind on it. So I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to getting put on the spot here. I hope I got it.
All right. This is
My
the
bone mind is sharp.
Yeah, this is the live. This is the first ever live question of the day. This goes for everybody in the chat. Anybody that calls in, we're gonna ask. But this is what I want to know. Bone Thugs and Harmony is 5 members. If you could pick any 5 Bone affiliates, meaning Mo Thug, Harmony House, Thug Line, The Life, Seven Sign, Flesh and Bone, Global, the list goes on. If you could pick any 5 Bone affiliates to form one supergroup, what 5 members would you pick to round out that supergroup?
Haha. Well, to remain consistent, this is great because I actually kind of almost answered this in one of our questions of the day a while back about Mo
Just
Thugs.
remember though, you can
So
go. You can go. It doesn't have to be restricted to Mo Thug. So just remember that.
yeah, no, of course, of course, of course. But I want. It's like as we're doing this, this is just hypothetical, but I actually want this. I wish this could happen, and I would have, as I said in the past, it would be Soldier Boy, Thug Queen, Felicia, Crazy Bone. But Crazy Bone doesn't count, right? Because he's a Bone member.
Yeah, right. You gotta pick an affiliate.
Okay, so I have three there, right? I got Soldier Boy, Felicia, Thug Queen. I'll throw Tony Tone on there, and then I mean, ideally, everyone's thinking Kane because Kane is the hot new lineup, the new star. But is he what I would want in my 5-person group? I like Kane, but I'm gonna go with probably Tombstone. But can they have to be alive? I mean,
No,
do they have to be living?
no.
Oh,
Fucking
okay.
pick whoever.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Tombstone as my 5th guy.
It's a good pick. I I see people already answering, so that's good. We're not too far off. I saw that Rubber Band Music said he'd just make a duo between Soldier Boy and Kane. So
That would be hot. That should happen. I mean,
see,
it, those guys are both alive and well and ready to spit fire. That would be a killer album.
yeah, yeah. Let's see.
Who's your 5?
Yeah.
Like, what would your list be?
So this is what I would do. And so I would definitely do Soldier Boy, of course. I think Soldier Boy is the obvious, at least for me, as a pick. So Soldier Boy. I would definitely take Kane. I think in addition to, I think Kane is dope. I think he brings something a little different to the table. He's new. He's got a great fan base of his own. Kane's doing a great job on his own. He's not trying to ride the Bone thing for Bone. He's trying to be Kane affiliated with Bone. So I like his hustle. So I think for that alone, you need a guy like that in the group. Plus the guy can rap. I would take Thug Queen because Thug Queen is just incredible. And that I like having a female in the group. She's very versatile, so I would take Thug Queen and put her in. I would take Tombstone as well. I think you want to have him in there, and I think Tombstone and Soldier Boy kind of sounding off together makes a really that makes for a nice song. They got two just kind of loud sounds together that I think sound good. And then I would put Big B in because Big B had the really cool, his voice is kind of like Busy. I always thought him and Busy Bone sounded really, really unique together. So I would put Big B in, and that would be my 5th. So Soldier Boy, Kane, Thug Queen, Tombstone, and Big B. That's my 5-person mega group.
That one's pretty solid. As I'm sitting here thinking, I'm like, I don't know if you remember. I think they were called the Killer Bees. There was like a Wu-Tang all-female group, and I was sitting here thinking, like, all right, well, what's another mega group? What if you took Larice, Thug Queen, Felicia, Two True, Breen Jazz, and Trey, and just like, I mean, I know you're not into female rappers, but like, I don't know why. It's not like I'm way into female rappers, but both Thug female rappers, I always dug what they were doing.
It's funny. I usually like most of like the Bone female rappers. And I like some older ones. Like I was into Lil Kim and Foxy Brown, and I even thought like Remy Ma was nice. But yeah, no, I usually like the girls connected to Bone. Thug Queen, I can't say enough good stuff about her. Or Too True. I really like Too True as well. Too True is like, they were hard as fuck. I thought they had.
Yo, Larice though, you heard Larice on the Thug on the Line album, and
yeah.
She was fire, but she was with me. It don't stop. That's Larice, right? With Crazy, is whoever that is. That was the best female rap, in my opinion, in all the albums.
The
girl that was with Crazy
on that album as well. Shit, who was it that he was trying to bring back on that album that I thought was great? Boss? Do you remember Boss, the girl?
Oh my goodness!
Dude, and he was getting ready to bring her back, and I was like, holy shit, she's gonna sign to the I guess it was still Thugline at the time, and dude, every time she came in, whatever song that is on Thug on the Line that she does with Crazy
Oh
Bone,
yeah,
Jesus.
yeah. Oh, you know what? It must have been Boss's verse. I'm thinking about. That's the song I'm talking about, by the way. It's called Thugger Level, and
Yeah, yeah.
geez,
Well, Larice was on that too.
so maybe all this time it's been Boss that I've been thinking. I had Boss's album when I was a kid, for real. Like, um, Boss was the bomb. I don't know why she vanished. She got like outed because she had a college degree, and I was like, why is that a bad thing? Like, why does that make Boss not count? Because she's smart. I mean, how does that disqualify you? But I
Yeah.
realize now that that is Boss's voice, and and when I used to hear it, I used to think, man, this really sounds like Boss, and it was. And why that didn't take off? That song was the jam, and I still like that track to this day.
I see some great picks, by the way, out here, John, in the chat room. Uh, I
Read some
see
of them out.
I see
Let's
Rasu, Soldier Boy, Tombstone, Keith G, and Thug Queen.
Beef G.
Who else do we have in here? Oh, this is cool. Soldier Boy and Kane with Trey. All three members.
Wow. Soldier Boy Kane with Trey. That's a
I see
that's a contrast.
Soldier Boy, Keith G, Thug Queen, Larice. That's cool.
Oh, I see here Christian Robertson pointed out that it was Deadly Venoms, and that's right. Yeah, the Deadly Venoms was the female Wu-Tang rap group.
See, I
They
love
they
that.
were
This is
fire
why I
too.
love this. See, we didn't fucking
Yeah.
know that, and he was there. I love this live shit. We're gonna do this forever, bro.
Please leave. What does the disclaimer say? Please leave clarifying comments and enjoy.
Yeah, yeah. No, those are great. Those are great picks from you guys. Hopefully, when we do some calls, like I said, we're gonna ask some of the callers as well. We're gonna ask what they think. So
This is bananas. I'm looking at this now. Boss was on another track
yeah,
on the album.
she was
Rolling
gonna
Up Some
she
Mo.
was gonna sign. He was gonna sign her. She was gonna be on Thug Line it must have been Thug Line at that time still. Yeah, because it was Thug on the Line. He was getting ready to sign her, and I don't know what ended up happening. Um, but yeah, Boss was dope. And was there more than just the song with Tiffany? I guess not. I guess he just did that song with Tiffany,
Well, no, it was two songs with Tiffany. One was on his album, and
and
then
then
one
one was
was
on
for her
hers.
album.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. And there was a story behind that. I don't know if they were like in the same studio by like chance. There's some there's like some plausible reason why that happened. I don't know if it was through a mutual friend or they just happened to be recording in the same place, and I don't know. But when that happened, I was like, wow, that's pretty random. Tiffany, like Boss, was from my childhood. I'm thinking, man, I don't know. Tiffany may be past your time. Do you remember Tiffany as a kid?
Um, I
Her and Debbie
mean,
Gibson. I won't be surprised if Debbie Gibson winds up on a Crazy Bone song.
I don't. I kind of do. Um, I kind of do. Did she end up? Somebody ended up. I thought it was her. Somebody ended up signing to Cash Money later on too. That was like an older singer. I thought that was her, but maybe not. But Cash Money ended up signing like somebody like Tiffany for like one album. They tried to bring back a bunch of those old hit makers.
Yeah. And I see somebody mentioned Nonchalant was cool too. I think Nonchalant had the song 5 o'clock in the morning. Where you gonna be out? Something like that. And yeah, I remember Nonchalant and obviously MC Light, from my childhood was hot stuff as female artists go. And there's a lot of them, a lot of good female rappers back in the day.
Yeah.
And you know, did LL Cool J ever do a track with Bone? Because I haven't heard all their features, but it just dawned on me. I was like, did LL Cool J ever do a song with Bone Thugs and Harmony?
I don't think so. Now that you say that, not unless maybe. I mean, I can't even think of like a big like posse thing that they might be on together. So I can't.
Trying to think here's a question. This is like a trivia of the day, which I don't have the answer to. But what is the most old school artist Bone did a collabo with? I mean, obviously Eazy-E would be the first guess, but was there anybody older than Eazy-E that they did with Ice Cube until we rich. But that's one for people to look up. So to everybody out there, what is the oldest old school artist that Bone Thugs and Harmony have ever collaborated with? Right now, it's at Eazy-E, standing in at 1988 when he kind of hit the scene, even though 87
Oh, you
was
want to know
NWA and Posse.
like who's the oldest like legend or whatever they've worked with?
Like oldest school artist, right? So like I see someone said Coolio, but Coolio came out afterwards. Like after Coolio's like after the whole
Ooh,
NWA
Gerald
phenomenon.
Levert. Okay, Kevin
That's
Starks with
yeah.
Gerald Levert.
That well, that's a big one too, because wasn't
Ryzin says Phil Collins.
Oh, okay.
These are good. I love
awesome
you guys.
Yeah. Coolio, Gerald Levert, and Phil Collins. Man, I don't think you're going to get any older than Phil Collins. That is old school. And Levert, I was listening to your interview with Bobby Jones. He and I think a couple other guys all mentioned that Levert kind of had like a big influence on the Cleveland scene, helped a lot of people out. So, yeah. All right. Well, that's where it stands right now. Phil Collins or Gerald Levert. And that is some old school stuff. And if we want to flip it to get it more to hip hop, who's the oldest school hip hop artist? Because Phil Collins kind of like rock and Levert is R&B. Who's the oldest hip hop artist? Did they ever do anything with like real old school guys like Grandmaster Flash or Kumo D or Schoolie D? Africa Mabata. I mean, obviously not them, but
you got Easy
Run
DMC. Well, they got Run. I mean, he
Run.
Fresh and Run.
I think Run goes far. It runs for. I think Run DMC started like in '83. So yeah, Run. Okay. Yeah. So, and that it. Christian says don't forget about WC and the Mad Circle. That's true. That's true. But Run goes farther back than the Mad Circle goes. Reverend Run.
I see Christian also answered the question of the day. His was I like Mensky from Black Hole of Watts, Aftermath, Capo, Big B, and Tombstone. That's like a collective right there. They would be hard as fuck. That would be hard. They would be hard as fuck on that. That would be.
Oh, and Lazy did a track with Ice-T. That's crazy. I never heard that. I'm leaving myself a note to look up Ice-T and Lazy Bone. That must be some wild shit right there.
John, I gotta know if you. I know we've been kind of off season. We do so much Bone stuff, you guys, that it's like, believe it or not, it's just like I gotta take like a mental break or I'll burn out. So when we do that, we kind of disconnect from the Bone stuff, and then when we started to gear up for season 2, we've been recapping. John, have you seen this fucking video of Flesh and Bone dancing?
Yes. the Mexican thing, I don't know if it was in Mexico, but it kind of had like a Mexican vibe with sombreros. And is that the one you're talking about?
Yes, dude. Yeah,
bro. Dude, it's the funniest thing is like after I saw that, I was like, this is all I want Flesh to do now, because he's like making music videos again, and I'm like, but all I want to see is him keep a straight face with a fake mustache.
Yeah.
And be in an elevator with opening and closing doors.
Dude, I really laughed hard, and this is why. And I enjoyed it because I was like, it's really nice to see Flesh and Bone, who, I mean, we've done interviews. We've done interviews with more than one person that's like, you don't want to fuck around with Flesh. We know about the guys like Just Time, of course, in jail. It was so fun to see him having so much fun and it's like, who knew, like, Flesh and Bone, just like, dude, he owned it. That much humor. I was dying. I watched it probably 5-6 times just back to back.
The jeans he was wearing too, like everything about it was hilarious, and that the mustaches were kind of like glossed on.
Yeah.
And man, every second of it, I watched it probably like 5 times in a row, and I kept slapping myself to say this is really happening. And then the next day I woke up, looked it up just to make sure that I wasn't in a dream, and it was there. And I hope they do a lot more comedy stuff like that, because that was that was awesome comedy. Like it wasn't cheesy comedy because there's that movie that Lazy and Crazy are in where they're like police officers and they say you're going to the crossroads. That kind of felt like forced comedy that they didn't write, like somebody else wrote it.
Yeah.
But the thing with Flesh was just like that was real comedy, like current comedy, but old comedy, straight face comedy is always like really funny to me.
Yeah, because he's just owning it. He just owned
Yeah.
the situation.
And he's holding and it's he's holding that keyboard on his like shoulders
Yeah. Oh man.
and playing the notes. So,
I,
yeah,
that
was
I was impressed. Like you said, I've seen the Bone guys in movies before. I think Busy's, starting to get it. The I Tried movie, the three of them, Crazy, Lazy, and Wish, it was pretty good. I mean, it was rappers acting. But man, maybe Flesh has it because he owned that. And even though it was like funny, it was really impressive too. It was really impressive to just see the guy be able to do that and just do it so well. I really liked it. It made me laugh, a big smile, and just it made me happy that it was Flesh too. Not that it wouldn't have been funny if any of them would have done it. Any of them doing it would be funny, but there's just something about it being Flesh and Bone that made it just fucking hilarious to me.
yeah. It was good. And I didn't even get a chance to watch the other guy that was in the video with him. Apparently, like this is a shtick that this guy does. And every time I'd click on another one of the guy's videos, it would last about 5 seconds, and then I would click back on the Flesh Bone video. Like my mind just wanted to go back to the Flesh.
Yeah.
So did you watch any other videos by that guy?
No, I watched that thing like repeatedly. I don't remember what happened the day I found it, but like as soon as I found it, I didn't even have time to really watch it the one time because I was like, going out the door or something. And then I mean it was like a five Pete because I was just, is this fucking real? I was like, is this real? Or are we really watching this right now?
And speaking on the comedy, I don't know if I ever asked you this, but I actually have wanted to ask you this. Did you see in What Now, the movie that Busy Bone was in? It was like the last movie Busy was in that I know of. Ice-T is in it, and there's like these scenes where Busy and Ice-T, like Ice-T is yelling at Busy Bone, and the comedy chemistry that I must have talked about this on the
Yeah.
show. Oh no, I talked about it on one of the videos. Dude, that chemistry was hilarious. Like like Ice-T plays the angry guy so good, and Busy plays like hey, I'm sorry so well, and I wanted the whole movie to just be Ice-T yelling at Busy Bone and Busy trying to do the right thing every time, and it's always pissing off Ice-T. Did you see those scenes?
I didn't watch the movie. I didn't watch like the movie itself, but I saw the trailer, and I mean, dude, the trailer, exactly what you said. I was really impressed with like what I saw for Busy Bone, based on the trailer. You know what I mean? They killed it. Ice-T and him were hilarious together. Busy's who knows what we'll see from him, because he is starting to get it. I remember early Busy Bone roles, and it just kind of reminded me of like when rappers get an acting role. But I do think it's something that he's starting to take way more serious. You can see that he tried to become like the role versus just being Busy Bone in a movie.
Did you see in the interview that I did with him when I asked him if you could play any character, like what kind of role would you want to be? And he didn't even like hesitate for a split second. He goes, I want to play a vampire. And I was like, oh, like the quickness of it was just like damn you. And man, yeah, if he played a vampire, that'd be funny. And this is funny too for everybody out there. Everybody calls him the Johnny Depp. Like, you know how in the BTNH board, everybody makes jokes saying that Busy Bone looks like the character from Pirates of the Caribbean, and you wonder if Busy knows about that. Yeah, he knows. When I was there, people kept saying like it's Jack Sparrow. Here comes Jack Sparrow. So, he knows about that. But Busy playing a vampire though, bro, that would that would be everything.
I see down in the chat right now. By the way, shout out to 1985 Gemini. She is our moderator for the night, just taking care of the chat. Me and John have so much going on the screen that we have to check back into the chat a lot. We don't have time to read everything, so she's in there moderating, just helping the flow of things. So shout out to her. But I'm looking in the chat, and where did it go? Manny wants to know what we think of the Art of War pre-releases. I don't know exactly what you mean, but as far as like what I think, like, I remember getting the pre-releases like early, like, in the day, and it was just such an exciting thing. Art of War is my favorite album. It was really cool to hear all these alternate versions, and not only to hear them, but it was like I didn't love that they sounded all fucked up, and somebody's done a good job like fixing the pitches so they at least sound pitched correctly. I have a couple versions of that, and but it was like something felt really cool about having these alternate versions that you could just imagine were snuck out of the studio on this fucking tape. It was just really exciting, and it did make you appreciate how much the Art of War got changed. And I know some people are really against how much the Art of War was changed. I think the Art of War is amazing. I might be with the rare Bone fan that I think Tamika did a good job. I know a lot of people don't agree with that, but as far as like the Art of War album, I think that the album is great. So I love the album itself, but it was great to hear those fucking pre-releases. And it's not as much. I see Christian asking if a decent quality versions of them exist. I mean they've been cleaned up pretty well. I don't know how good like quality wise they are, but I have a version that the pitches are all correct, because those pre-releases originally were all fucked up. Some of them sounded really fast, some of them sounded really slowed down. So
Yeah, I mean, when I heard them originally, I was just like, why would I listen to this because when they first came out, Bone was still Bone, and I was like, why would I want to listen to this bad quality stuff when I could hear the good quality? Going back years later, well, and actually this is the one I never understood, was how Bone fans wanted the original Silky Fine version with Busy for Thug Love.
yeah,
And I used to be like, okay, well, you get 2 verses from Busy, so that's good, but you guys don't want the rest of Bone on the track? I mean, I'll trade Silky Fine for the rest of Bone every single day. That was the one that always threw me off. I was like, don't you want Bone? You want Silky Fine over Bone?
I think it's just interesting as Bone fans, like we would take multiple versions, you know what I mean? I don't think that they wanted Silky Fine over Bone. I think it was just like, we want both versions. Although I do think some fans, prefer that, because and this has always been kind of my thought, like that is one of the things that Tamika probably flexed. Busy had this song, and she decided that it was going to be a Bone thing. We know Busy kind of seeked it out, but at the end of the day, it was the better move. I mean, the Thug Love with all a Bone, those you want to talk about all-star performance from the whole team. Get the Monstar jerseys, because they shut it the fuck down.
Well, and what's interesting too is the Bone fan perspective of that song versus the non-fanatical Bone fan. A lot of friends that I had, that they're like, okay, you're a Bone fanatic, but I mean, we casually like Bone. They all liked Crazy's verse and Wishbone's verse the best. The non-Bone fan, they thought Wish was good, and they thought Crazy's, like, those are the 2 verses they liked the best out of the album, which most people would say Busy, Tupac, and then everybody else. But they were checking for Crazy and Wish, which was surprising to me, because it was so night and day different.
Yeah.
Than what I would read on BTNH board or the UBB at the time, or whatever the Bone board was before that.
Right. Yeah.
Because it had a name before the UBB. There was something even before that.
I see in our chat, by the way, I see Harmony House Radio popped up and said, "What's up, my dudes? We will talk and do some things in 2019." That's Rob J. 25-year member of the legendary Bone Thugs crew, touring with those guys all over the world and making it happen. So shout out to Rob J, who I see in the chat. I see so many people going off right now. I do see people talking about Art of War 3. I love the Art of War 3. Did we move out of the small delay here?
Why doesn't anybody ever mention Scant Bone? That's a good question. I always wondered that too. I just have a casual understanding. I've watched a couple of Scant Bone videos, but I don't have any Scant Bone albums. Never did. But I mean, I see when he does like those little like interviews himself kind of videos, and I always get him and another guy confused. There's Scant, and then there's another guy. Which one's? One of them's related to Lazy Bone, and then there's another Scant.
Yeah, well, Lazy Bone's brother, Stu.
Yeah, but it's not Stu Bone. Scant. Yeah, I don't have the albums. That's why it's not off the tip of my tongue.
Well,
but
you think about that. Well, I was just talking about him anyway while he was in here. Rob J. He's been dropping some video teasers. You guys can see these on his Instagram, which I believe is Harmony House Radio, and it's really cool, John. This is an exciting thing. Rob J is setting up a Bone Thugs and Harmony TV network where fans are going to be able to jump on, see their favorite videos when they want to, see interviews. I believe they're going to work on brand new content. I know you're not a wrestling fan, but it makes me think of almost like the WWE network and what they're doing, where they just have like all the content that they've made on demand, and then they're also making tons of new content, some music related, some not. I see Busy Bone doing, like cooking shows on his Instagram, so maybe we'll see Bone in like, just some more personal roles. So, I see that going on. That's exciting. What a time to be alive as a Bone Thugs fan.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm curious to see how that turns out. And man, if it's a 24-hour Bone network.
Oh my God.
I remember when we just had that 24-hour Bone stream.
Yeah.
Let alone a 24-hour Bone video network. That would be something.
Yeah.
That would be definitely something.
That's amazing. So, and I actually believe you can, I don't know if you can check it out now or just get a preview, but it's at anthem.unreal.me. That's UNREEL.me. Anthem.unreal.me. So that's where you guys can go to check out the BTNH TV network that I believe is coming. So really cool, and we'll keep you guys up to speed as to what's going on with that. As long as we're just talking about things that are out, I think that you saw this too, John. Lazy's been dropping. He's been dropping like some CDs, like he reissued Faces of Death. So he's doing a couple reissues. He just did the Bone for Life reissue. The Mo Thugs is still actually available on lazygear.com as well, and he's got them at really good prices. So if you guys are collectors, don't be stuck in the cold on this one. I remember when DJ Unique sold CDs, and so many people didn't jump on and buy them, and now they're literally selling for hundreds of dollars on eBay. A couple years from now, don't be going, I wish I would have bought that Mo Thugs Greatest Hits that's selling for a couple $100 on eBay. So lazygear.com, make sure you guys also jump on there and show some love, show some support.
When you bought that Mo Thug Greatest Hits, that was a double CD, like all packaged into one for one price. What was the price on that when you did it?
I did it on the pre-release, so it was really fucking cheap. I think it was like $10 or something when I did it.
Wow.
Yeah, and if like
because I realized that when I watched your unboxing of it, I was like, oh man, it's a double CD. Man, that's a pretty good deal.
Maybe it was 15. I see it for 15 right now on there. $15, and then the Bone for Life is $10. And he's doing the Faces of Death as well for 20, but $15 for that double disc, that's insane. If you guys don't have that, and if you haven't seen my unboxing, I mean the CD felt really cool, like to get it, because it was the double disc. The artwork was very Mo Thugs, so there was a lot of nostalgia when I got that. Similar to you know, just similar to what it was like to get the original Mo Thugs album. So they did a great job. That's another thing I think actually Rob J had a lot to do with Lazy was the greatest hits. So they did an outstanding job. And I mean, like I said, I really got that nostalgia. And when I opened it up and it was the hinge, like the Art of War was, you know, with the 2 disc, it was like, holy shit. So
yeah. Now the Bone for Life, does that have any bonus tracks on it? Or like,
yeah.
Is it still an EP?
Yeah, well, I don't think it was I guess it was an EP even then, right? And they had bonus tracks on it then. So it's got those tracks plus the original bonus tracks plus I guess Lazy also added additional bonus tracks. So, you know, it's worth picking up. I see a bunch of chat in here. I actually see Archie in here. Shout out to Archie Blaine. Too True. Man, this is just helping move us right along as long as Archie is in here. Once again, shout out to Archie, and if you guys haven't checked out his interview, he did an interview with us. It is his first and only interview that Archie has done in his career, and he really let us in just close as far as just his career and Too True and the whole Mo Thug experience. So you guys want to check that out. And John, I don't know if you've been paying attention since we've been moving back in, but I see Archie is actually working on a project. I see Too True involved. I saw Sin is involved. Mo Heart's involved. I even saw that K Chill was going to get on some kind of track, and there was a few other people. So it's very cool to see, you know, a bunch of these people working together, and hopefully we helped kind of inspire that, you know, and to get these guys going because the fans want to hear it. I want to hear it. I would love to hear what they're doing. Those, you can always rap forever. If you're a basketball player, if you're Jordan, you know, you may not be able to do what you did in your 20s forever, but man, if you can rap for life.
Absolutely. So I realize now who I got Scamp Bone confused with. Just the names, Big Sloan and Scamp Bone. For whatever reason, those would mishmash in my mind all the time, and those are the names.
Sloan too. Sloan's dope.
Yeah. Big Sloan, Scant Bone.
Actually, Rob J said that Scant is our cousin, and his album is Four Seasons. Yeah, I have the Four Seasons somewhere. Somebody actually sent me that.
And the funny part is they're all covered in that Mo Thugs discography collection video I had made a while back. And that's when I realized, making that video and collecting all those different albums was when I realized that Scamp Bone and Big Sloan were actually two separate artists. I confess.
I confess. I mean,
there's a lot though when you do those discographies and you start to like look at the whole collection, a whole bunch of other stuff starts to come to your mind, and you're like, man. And you know, speaking of Archie, with that Archie interview, he answered one of the questions I had, because when I was looking all the stuff up, I noticed that it was Jazz or Brina, one of the two had another album, and that comprised of all music that they made before Too True, based on what Archie said, based on what I understood that he said. And so then that answered that question, because I was wondering, I was like, so did this album come out afterwards, or how did that work? So that got answered.
Okay, let's take a look here. Hey, just reminding everybody, if you're just getting in here, we do have a live question of the day going on. So if you haven't left a comment yet, this is what we want to know on our live question of the day. If you could pick any 5 Bone affiliates, that means Mo Thugs, Harmony House, Thug Line, The Life, Seventh Sign, Flesh and Bone Global, you know, if you could pick any 5 affiliates from any of those branches, what 5 affiliates would you pick? I picked Soulja Boy, Kane, Thug Queen, Tombstone, and Big B. John, who'd you have in your top 5?
I had Soulja Boy, Felicia, Thug Queen, Tony Tone, and Tombstone.
So those are our 5. If you haven't dropped your 5, make sure you drop your 5 as well. John, what do you think? Should we open it up? Should we take some calls?
Was there anything you wanted to put on the Who Dat single and video? Because I did see a few people asking about it.
Yeah, so I do have those on my list to talk about it. Maybe we should talk about them now in case things don't circle around. I did check out the new Flesh and Bone. I saw Flesh and Bone had 2 new songs, and he had a video to one of them, the Who Dat, which I believe is that like a Beastie Boys?
Yeah, Paul Revere.
Yeah.
And if anybody, if any of you guys in the chat know what the actual beat is to Paul Revere by the Beastie Boys because it's a reversed beat. And I used to know the trivia on what beat they reversed. And it's just like 1 in a Million by Aaliyah. Little piece of trivia is Timberland took a Two Live Crew beat or a Luther Campbell beat and slowed it down. So what you're actually hearing on Aaliyah's 1 in a Million is a Two Live Crew beat slowed down. And then Paul Revere beat, I know there's a trivia behind that as well. And that's the beat that I believe Fleshbone's rapping over because there's even like the same breaks. I mean, it sounds like a straight, like the instrumental directly to Paul Revere by Beastie Boys. And the video is kind of cool too with it,
You,
with like all the effects on the beat.
are you talking about the Flesh one, the new Flesh one?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I thought it was pretty cool. Um, it, it's cool to see Flesh pay the homage. It was cool, you know. I know that Flesh can rap fast. I know that he can do the the Bone style, obviously. So it was kind of cool to hear him switch it up. And even more though, I liked the visual homage that he was paying. I think that's what they were doing with that video. Beyond him, obviously wearing like the Kango or whatever he was wearing. I think even just that video style. So
Yeah.
no, I enjoyed it. I liked both Flesh songs. The other one was like a weed song or something, right?
Yeah, the other one, I was excited. I enjoyed that one probably even more than the Who Dat. The Who Dat was cool from homage point, but then I've heard that Beastie Boy beat so many times that it's like, yeah, okay. And it's kind of like, yeah, I thought I wanted to hear Crazy rhyme over, I think it's the Babylon beat by Outkast on one of the fixed tapes. But then when it finally happened, actually, no, I like that one. I do like that one. It's when Crazy rhymed over Mobb Deep's Shook Ones that I was like, but Shook Ones is just so good. Like I don't want to hear Crazy rhyme on it. I want to hear Havoc and Prodigy. But I did like Let Me Fly, the one that's on the Outkast beat, and then with Flesh on Beastie Boys, that was kind of cool too.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool to see that like that they like to kick it old school and bring it like that. It's neat to see their interpretations of it.
I you know I also like just seeing all this stuff that Flesh is doing. I've said it for a long time, but Flesh, he missed a lot of the Bone Thugs journey. Um, the guy is you can really admire this guy, in a lot of ways. He's battled demons. He did a jail bid that breaks people in half, and arguably some people just don't bounce back. Shine did a similar bid, and mentally, Shine seems okay, but like as far as the skills and shit, like Shine's new songs when he got out of jail, he fell off. Flesh, we hear Flesh, he's doing some of the best stuff that he's done, and he's just getting it. So I'm always happy to see how much content that Flesh and Bone is trying to turn out, just because he missed such a chapter, and instead of letting that fuck him up, he's just like, hey man, I'm gonna get all I can while I can get it. And you gotta admire that.
Yeah, I'm surprised he hasn't dropped even more albums. Like I thought when he was fresh out, I was like, oh, there's gonna be a decade's worth of pent up rhymes coming. We did get the what was it, Blaze of Glory, which was kind of dope. And then there's been a couple other things, but I expected like double albums and stuff like that from Flesh. Maybe
Yeah.
it's still coming. Maybe it's still on the burner.
Yeah,
I'm
I
looking
think it
forward to it.
is. That the guy is driven, so I think it is, and I think this new content is just the beginning of what we're seeing. 2019 looks really good just for Bone in general. These guys do not show signs of slowing down or stopping. They are, I think, in the best place they've been in as a group as far as just handling their business, handling their music, just the things they're bringing to the table and the opportunities. I think they're in the best place that they've been in such a long time. So 2019 seems very exciting for just them as a collective and us as fans.
Yeah. And there's a video we'll be making in a while. And when you see it, you're going to realize that the Bone saga has not stopped, even though I think a lot of people think it was just that Ruthless Records era. But there's a question of the day that we're going to drop on you at some point. and you're just gonna marvel that you could take. Well, I'm not gonna even spoil it. It's gonna be one of those like brain, like wow, I didn't realize how good the last 15 years have been. Even though everyone thinks, everyone's living in the East 99 time, but actually it's been pretty good since then. You'll see the perspective when we drop it.
Yeah.
It's enlightening.
Let's see. Let's see what's going on in the chat. I see Feenics Ryzin still in here. She said, "Flesh is so full of wisdom. It's crazy how much knowledge he dropped on me." I can believe that. Again, like I said, that with going through that much and just, as crazy as you can hear that Flesh can be, I mean, it's still the stability of the guy to be doing this well is so impressive. So I applaud the guy. 1985 Gemini said, "Feenics Rising, we love your intro for the Beyond the Harmony channel. We have said it many times, but Johnny, so true." Shout out to Feenics Ryzin. Feenics Ryzin, thank you for being in here. Thank you for doing our theme. You are an outstanding talent. And as we continue these live shows, we were saying we don't have music for breaks and things like that. So hopefully we can be using, some Feenics Rising. Unfortunately, we do not have, the okay to use Bone stuff. So, we will need some music in there. So hopefully we can throw some Feenics Rising in when we take breaks and shit like that.
That would be dope. I'm all for that.
Yeah.
All for that.
She's outstanding. So if you guys have not checked out and subscribed to her channel, you can, on the homepage of our channel, go to her and make sure you subscribe. She's incredible.
Yeah. And you'll get to relive some Bone songs in a whole new way. So
yeah. It is
good stuff.
Before we take callers, because I just want to, I guess, say it's been a good week in Beyond the Harmony. We drop something every single day. Just in the off season, it started with a Mo Monday with Romeo, just talking about Tombstone. We're still trying to get as much of that interview out to you guys as you can. There's just been a lot of bumps with it, which is crazy because it's 8.5 hours. There's so much stuff, and me and John want to release it, more than ever. But we just got to work it the way we can. But a really great Mo Monday if you haven't heard it with Romeo talking about his first encounter with Tombstone and how Romeo ended up in Graveyard Shift. Johnny, you did some of the playlist videos too. Oh, do you have something about the Mo Monday?
Well, no, I was going to say that we're going to have a lot more Mo Mondays, not necessarily always of Romeo, but of we're going to revisit some of our other episodes of neat tidbits that even I felt like I missed some of it, even though I was right there with you. It's so exciting. Sometimes your mind goes blank, and revisiting some of the highlights is better. But one of the things I'm happy that I got going, because I always want to give something to the Bone fans that besides us just talking, something that they could use about Bone with Bone is. So I created 4 playlists. One, it's been out there for a while. It's the Busy Bone album. It's the Busy Bone playlist of all of his music videos. The Busy Bone music video collection. Also have a Crazy Bone music video collection, a Lazy Bone music video collection, and a Warriors playlist. And if you guys want to get a little joke about a behind the scenes thing, I come up with some pretty wacky stuff. Some things Cecil just doesn't want to roll. He doesn't want to do. So when I presented it, I was like, hey, let's do a question of the day about the Warriors. And he's like, nah, man, no, I'm not doing that. I'm like, well, it's a really good idea. I'm going to do it myself.
Yeah.
So that's where we did that Warriors playlist of all the songs with Warriors in the title. It's just one of those like corny Bone factoids. I never saw anybody do a mixtape based on all the songs with Warriors in the title, but that playlist exists. The surprising takeaway from all this is that Lazy Bone has the most music videos, at least of the ones I've been able to aggregate, bring together. I thought it would have been Crazy Bone or Busy Bone. Nope. Lazy Bone is the music video king with 66. I'm opening it up right now, make sure it's still 66. I might have added something. But yeah, tons of Lazy Bone videos. And I hope you guys out there took the time to at least go through those playlists, because there's going to be something new in there. There's no way you possibly have seen every Lazy Bone video, every Crazy Bone video, every Busy Bone video. Maybe, but when you start going down this rabbit hole, you start finding things you're like, man, I never even heard this collaboration track.
Yeah.
So those were there. And I'll make a Fleshbone one. I'd make a Wishbone one, but there's really, I don't think there's any Wishbone solo tracks or Wishbone features that have music videos.
Right.
And then
Not yet.
I will do a Bone Thugs and Harmony collection as well, so that the one-stop shop, if you want to just playlist music videos, and actually if Rob J's listening, he might want to look at these playlists too, just for the dead air time on his channel, on their actual TV show. They could just stream these playlists.
Right. No, that'd be great. That'd be great. I really, I have enjoyed, and I see fans enjoying it too. They, you know, some of them like, you know, thanks for putting these all in one place so they can check it all out. So you know, I think the playlists are really cool. And once, just like the questions of the day, once we get the basics out of the way, then we'll start to do more creative ones, like the Warrior playlist. You know, we'll start to get some real creative playlists put together as a community as well. So I think that'll be really good. So he put out the Warrior playlist, he put out the Crazy Bone playlist, and then we did a bunch of questions of the day. John, we had some great questions of the day. We had some great answers. I saw answers, and I don't want to, you know, recap every one of them, but we will recap the questions. But I will say that I saw some answers on some of these that I was like, holy shit, you know, just things that you didn't expect. So you know, so it was just a great week in Beyond the Harmony.
Yeah, and also we had about a 10-day span there where we re-released. I migrated all of the original Beyond the Harmony videos I did prior to Cecil and I like officially doing this. I had made a series of Beyond the Harmony prototype episodes on my channel, and my channel got hit by YouTube with some stuff. So I took that opportunity to migrate all of those videos onto the Beyond the Harmony channel. We released one per day. Some of the highlights, if you haven't seen it, is the East 1999 Eternal Mr. Ouija decoded video. That one, if you've never known it, will blow your mind. The East 99 Eternal musical origins. So if you wanted to know where some of the samples came from, that's in that video. And then there's other videos, like the Bone Enterprise, Faces of Death, how I originally found it and found the clues. And that's actually where we found K-Chill. So check it out. If you guys have only been seeing the questions of the day recently, go look at our little recent releases over the past 3 months, and you're going to see there's a lot of new content. And it was possible because it was just being migrated over from the old channel to the new channel. And they're good to watch again, because I got to re-experience some of them. And I was like, wow, these are actually pretty cool videos.
Yeah. No, I agree. I rewatched some of them as well, and they are great videos. So they're worth rewatching. All this content has been gearing us up for our big season 2. What? Oh, you know, I just want to make sure, and I know you're getting ready to drop a video on it, and I don't know if he's in here. But Frank 216 DNA Level C, man, shout out to him. He sent us a box. John's getting ready to drop you guys a video on it. He sent us a box of CDs and tapes from Stony Brook, including a version of Faces of Death that I didn't have. He just gifted it to us to help do the show. Shout outs to him. It was such an awesome package to receive just from a listener. You know, thank you so much. We were so humbled by the situation, and we look forward to dropping videos. There's a ton of content coming from that, and there's a lot of community content where we really want to work with you guys to maybe just discover new things, you know, just about the Faces of Death era. You know, that's one of our favorite things to kind of just find out new information on. So, you know, very, very, very soon will those be dropping.
Is your chat board moving still? Because mine stopped. Oh, no, they're still there. Maybe they're just so captivated.
Yeah, no, I see them.
Okay, good.
I see them in here. So, but yeah, no. So shout out to Frank again, hooking us up. Everything that, you know, a listener does for us, you know, including just watching the videos that we have monetized, you know, helps push the show. Any money or anything that me and John ever get from the show, we immediately put back into the show. Super chats are enabled. If any of you want to do, you know, the super chat, any money that we receive from the super chat goes into just making the show better, whether it's, you know, us, you know, getting our intro, or it, you know, even doing giveaways, you know, so we appreciate it. Or if you guys just want to do what, you know, what he did, what Frank did, and send us a package of bone stuff. You know, anything like that, we really appreciate you guys doing. And like I said, we do have super chats enabled tonight, and any of those, you know, are going to be flooded right back into the show. We have such a crazy fan base, John. I say it all the time. You just didn't know what it was going to be like jumping into this, and you guys have been outstanding. And just shout out to the solid every week, every video fans that we have. Thank you guys. And I actually just see Capone of Mo Thugs jumping in, sending us some love. Shout out to Capone. Great interview on our chat. Kevin Starks with a $1.99 super chat to us. Shout out to Kevin Starks. You're the man. Thank you so much, brother. The chat, you guys are killing it. Johnny, they're killing it out here right now, bro.
Yeah, and speaking of giveaways, I'm lost on where we're at on our giveaways. Could you fill me in? Because I know you got to film some kind of giveaway video. And,
I guess let's start with the 1500. That's the one that's going on now. I have the 1500. We've obviously reached 1500. I have the giveaway. Shout out to Bone Thugs NL who actually sent it to us. It's a beautiful Bone Thugs poster. The only thing preventing it is we're actually, you know, up in the north, transitioning into winter pretty hard. The space that I recorded in is pretty cold, so I'm just setting up my new space, and I hope to be recording that video and some brand new videos very soon. And then once I do, our 1500 subscriber video will be up. And we're going to do one at 2,000 as well. And then I think we're going to start doing them every 1,000 from there. But we're going to do really just interesting giveaways. We were doing a monthly. The monthly ones seem to not be getting the excitement that they should be. The videos didn't seem to get like a lot of plays. And I love giving stuff away. Like John says, I'm the guy that gives it all away. But I love to give stuff away. But the monthly ones seem to not be getting the excitement that the big ones did. So we thought that we would pull it back and do big subscriber giveaways. So we are still going to do the 1500. I just haven't had the ability to record the video for it. And then we got them planned for 2,000, 3,000, and maybe we'll do one tonight too. A live. I'll be doing a live question of the day. Should we do a live giveaway? If you guys think we should do a live giveaway tonight, you know, throw me some flame emojis in the chat room if you think we should do a live giveaway tonight. And if we get a good response, we'll do a live giveaway tonight too.
I hope you got some method of doing it. I know when we do the other giveaways, you have that program that does it. I don't know how to do a live chat giveaway, but I know you're the giveaway king. So
giveaway king, man.
I place my faith in Cecil West.
Yeah.
I know you got giveaway king, and you know, to those that give, it all comes back anyway. So,
yeah.
and I know that too. I try to get. In fact, Cecil's getting. See, Cecil could vouch. I'm also the giveaway king. He's when I send him this package from Frank DNA Level C 216. He's gonna get a whole bunch of extra crap he doesn't want.
Yeah,
I always make sure to fill those boxes up to the full.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. No. So, but yeah, we that's what's going on with the giveaways. Once again, I want to shout out Kevin Starks, our first super chat user of the night. He did $1.99. You know, definitely if you see the super chat down at the bottom with $1, feel free to drop something on Beyond the Harmony, and you'll help progress the show. And I see a bunch of flame emojis in our chat room. Maybe we'll see a few more. We'll see if we can get a giveaway if we get enough flame emojis. I see Kevin Starks, Jeremy Jones, Chaos Bone all dropping those flame emojis. I also see that we have people listening in from Europe. It's so impressive. Dustin, I still have my tour t-shirt from the Art of War in '97. Drew Hill, Aaliyah, Mary J. Blige. We're all on tour with Bone. Yeah, when we interviewed Romeo had a great stories about that time. That was a big tour. It's awesome that you still are holding on to that shirt. Oh, Johnny John.
That's your favorite tour too, right? The Art of War tour '97. You're always asking about that tour.
Yeah, I just think
that's cool.
They put a lot into that tour. You know, you remember that they had the huge stage. They had the huge stage with the big skull. so they had that huge tour booklet that had all the Mo Thugs in it. They had just so much footage with it. They were wearing the fatigues. It was just, it's an incredible tour. Art of War was an incredible time for Bone Thugs and Harmony. Woo, we got a lot of flame
I got a
emojis
question
going on, bro. A lot of flame emojis. I think we're gonna have to do a giveaway here tonight.
That one by Manny there, the first of the month skull with the flame coming out the top. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I got a question of the day for you. That this probably wouldn't make for a good question of the day, but speaking of the Art of War '97 tour,
Yeah.
what is your most memorable live performance? Not necessarily a tour, but of all the five guys, when you think of live performances, which
Like not just that
performance
tour, like
do
any, or you're saying that tour?
any live performance, like when you think of Bone performing live, what is the image and who is it? Which of the guys is it? Or it could even be Romeo if you're thinking of him. When you think of Bone live, what is the first image that enters into your mind?
So I can't say all five. Oh, I guess all five they're not. All right, I think of immediately Busy Bone wearing the blue checkered like overshirt and doing body rot on the Art of War tour. He had the braids. And immediately when you said, just Bone live, and maybe it's because we were just talking about the Art of War tour, but I just immediately just picture Busy Bone just ripping into that body rot verse. That's like the first thing that comes to mind. And then I think, I also back of my mind, classic, go to the all white, the Crossroads performance when they had the smoke and the white suits and the fucking, I think they had like the horse come out and all that shit. So those are the two things. Just like immediately, man, you put me on the spot. That was like, I'm gonna show you this fucking dot. What do you see? Those are the first things that came to mind.
Those are the exact answers I was gonna give as well, in that same order too.
Yeah.
And not only that Busy body rot performance. I mean, I can't think of any rap performance that was like more mind blowing live than that. Like when I first saw that, I saw it on the collection VHS tape, and like my mind, that might be the most memorable Bone moment period for me. Was that particular shot? Like that's my most memorable Bone thing period. Was Busy's performance on Body Rot. That killed it.
Well,
that killed it. Like let alone live performances. Just most memorable Bone thing period. I think of that.
I say we open up the floodgates and see if anybody wants to call in and talk about Bone with us. Before we open it up, I just want to say, when we open it up, depending on, calls, we want to make sure everybody gets a chance to get on. So as much as we want to talk to everybody as much as we can, we're going to try to limit it, try to be, just on point with the question, kind of have your question ready to go when you guys get in here. That way we can make sure we get to everybody tonight that wants to call in. But I'm going to put up the call-in information. When you first get in, you will be muted, and when it's your time, it'll tell you you're unmuted. And let's talk some Bone. John, you ready to hear from our people?
Can't wait to find out who the first Beyond the Harmony live guest is.
All right, let's do it. Let's open this up. I'm gonna go ahead, and we'll see who's gonna call in. Who's gonna call in first? Don't forget, we are gonna do our live question of the day. We want to know if you could pick any 5 Bone affiliates. This means Mo Thug, Harmony House, Thug Line, The Life, Seven Sign, Flesh and Bone Global, any other affiliate group you can think of. We want to know what 5 artists you would take to make a group. So just so you know, if you say Poetic Hustlers, that counts for 3 or 5. So we want to know what 5 you would take.
Yes.
And I'm also going to tell you, if you guys are calling in, you should be able to see the call-in number now. You're going to put the call-in number. It is going to ask you for our show ID. Now, if you are calling from another country, you can go to the website callin.beyondtheharmony.com, and you can get the number for your country, but the show ID will remain the same, and it will ask you to put a guest token in. I think it's like £1 or something, but it tells you. So let's see. Let's see.
And while you're hooking that up, I just want to mention, because I'm sitting here saying, I probably when I was talking about Boss, and it might think like, how does John not know that Boss was on the album? No, I knew it, but when that album came out, I had this job that it was 13 and a half hour work days. It was at this call center, and it took me an hour to drive there and an hour to drive back. So like I didn't have time to look at the CD artwork in 2001, 2002. So that's why I didn't know it was Boss. It was just I had the CD, and that's all I listened to on the drive to work and the drive back on the it's not the Turnpike, it was the Florida Expressway. Thug on the line. That and it was Stone Garden by the Psycho Realm. They were down with Cypress Hill. Those two albums.
I'm just looking back. I'm looking back here. We were talking about it, the questions of the day, and I saw some really crazy answers, man. I saw too, like, when we did like who's your favorite Mo Thug, like I thought we were just gonna see like an onslaught of Soldier Boy, but I was really impressed with like just the variety. It let me know how diverse even the fans are. There was a lot of variety as far as who was, the favorite. Favorite's big.
Yeah.
You're picking a favorite. That's big. Best of the best.
Well, yeah. Those I see people talking about the Planet Groove. Those performances were good too, as well as Soul Train. And as I said in a previous video, that I really enjoyed the Soul Train performance of Crazy, Soldier Boy, Thug Queen, and Felicia doing Mighty Mighty Warrior. That was tight. And when Busy did the stuff with Immature, that was cool too. Time. This is the other thing too, and I guess this will be to everybody out there. If you guys saw a good question happen in the chat somewhere and we missed it, we didn't cover it, and you guys really want it to be covered, we'll cover it. Because sometimes I'll watch Busy on the Instagram, and I see like a gazillion questions come in, and some of them are actually pretty dope. And I'm like, man, I hope Busy sees this one, but I could imagine it gets buried. So if we miss something that's got to get covered, let us know.
For sure. Yeah. 100%. It's hard to keep track of it all, so make sure you do. And let's see here. Make sure you guys are calling in 1-605-562-0444. Don't forget the show ID when you call in, 6657842. It's 1-605-562-0444. Give me and John a call. John, I think we might have somebody right now. Let's bring them in. Yo, you're on with Beyond the Harmony. Who we talking to?
Andre the Giant.
Andre the Giant. What's up, brother?
Andre.
Thanks for calling in, man.
Hey, what's up, fellas? Man, I want to say great job and excellent work following Bone Thugs and Harmony. I never thought anybody out here in the world understood that Busy Bone was a national treasure that he is, other than my buddies.
Oh man, it's so true, bro.
That's awesome.
It's so true. We talk about it so much on here about Busy, and luckily John and I have both had the blessing to be able to interact with the guy in person, and he's a rarity, man. You got to say he is a Michael Jackson level rarity that you don't see just all the time.
He definitely is. I've had the pleasure of meeting the brother myself quite a few times. I came of age with Busy Bone in the year 2000 when Resurrection hit the shelves. At first, I used to just enjoy the Bone Thugs and Harmony sound, but it got to a point where I actually started understanding what he was saying. And when Resurrection came out, I had to double back to Heaven's Movie and realize that Heaven's Movie was like a tell-all for what was going on with Bone. And if you wasn't paying attention, he told you why he wasn't there. I mean, Thug's Cry is a literal definition of what was going on.
Oh,
and
man.
That's when I just woke up. Yeah. That's when I woke up and realized that he had so much to say, more than what anybody could ever imagine.
Thug's Cry is there's so many symbols in Thug's Cry that, you know, I think John and I should probably do a breakdown of Thug's Cry, because like you said, it's telling the whole story, and he was being so honest with us as fans, and we didn't even know how honest he was being. I mean, you think about, he was in jail and Bone was in jail with him. How symbolic was it that Bone was in that jail cell with him, and then when he got out of that jail, he had the all white on, that you know, that freedom, that dove freedom, but he was in that jail with Bone, and that jail was ruthless. Like that video was amazing.
It absolutely was, man. And by the time he got to Alpha and Omega with the I Understand, and he pretty much told us he was going on that spiritual journey, which he did, starting in 05. I mean, it's incredible. If you follow this guy's storyline, I mean, some of his one-liners, I still to this day, I have a favorite Bone member depending on the day. Sometimes it's Lazy, Crazy Flesh. Depending on the day, I'm with one of them. But Busy Bone is incredible. And I think the world just doesn't realize what this guy has to say. He has some of the best one-liners I've ever heard. I collect every CD. I've been a Bone fan since 1990. I'll say 5. I'm 32 years old. So in 95, my brother bought Creeping in the Come Up Down to the Basement, and it was like getting a spaceship. I've never heard anything like that in my life. And it was incredible. I haven't looked back since. So every release date, every time something comes out, I have it. So I'm just as up to date as you guys are on the information. That's why I try not to take too much of your time. I'm excited to meet you guys. And I just want to say my support for the show, because this is long overdue. Long overdue.
I love that you understood like the greatness of like a song like I Understand. I remember when I first heard I Understand, and you know, you can't pick a more honest lyric than For Those That Love Me If You Leave Me, I Understand. And to be serious about it, because we know that the trials and tribulations that Busy Bone went through, and to say that, and to be standing, because we know that Busy was kind of standing, you know, solo at that time, and most people could have been bitter. Bone's moving in a direction without him, and he said, hey, that's okay, I understand that that's what you got to do. Not everybody could handle that, man. I love that you understand the greatness of this guy, and we absolutely agree. We made this channel because we felt like it was way long overdue, that we as fans needed this type of connection where we can just chop it up about Bone just like this.
Right. And it's awesome because I'm from PG County, Maryland. I meet a lot of the guys at the show. I have 8 BTNA shows under my belt thus far. My first show was in 2005. Crazy Bone and Wishbone were on the Gemini run, I believe. And I went to a funeral and buried my uncle that Saturday. They had a show in this area that Saturday night. Wish said a personal prayer for my uncle, of course, in relation to his Uncle Charles, when I told him I lost my uncle. I mean, it was just an incredible experience, and I kind of wish I'd never met him, because when you meet Bone, you actually realize they're people, and before you meet them, it's like they're these superhuman recording aliens, or something like that. So when you meet them, it's so cool. I don't want to take away from the experience, but you realize that they're actually human beings too. But Wish was he's an awesome guy. I mean, I've met all 5 of them. I have all 5 of their autographs. I actually, most of them probably doesn't know this, but I had a little relationship with Lazy Bone from a business standpoint, where I submitted some music from him, and I was one of his developing artists for a hot second. I've actually recorded a song that I got with Kmart. I got from Kmart. I got a sample with him with Crazy Bone that I recorded 2 verses on. I would love to submit it to you guys, just so you guys can hear it. I believe it came out later.
Yeah, absolutely.
But,
we'll put it on the channel for everybody.
Yeah.
You gotta send it to us.
Crazy Bone's 5 shots. He released a sample, 5 shots. It's like a hook in a Crazy Bone verse. But before that song actually came out, it was given to me, and I actually put 2 verses on it, and I recorded it like a feature. Like I wrote the song with Crazy Bone, but Crazy's parts were already done before I put my verses on it. But either way, it was an awesome experience.
Send it over. And you and anybody that wants to send us anything, it's beyondtheharmony99@gmail.com. You can send it over. DeAndre, before we get you off this line, I gotta know the live question of the day from you, because I got you here. I don't know if you heard it,
Okay.
but we want to know if you could pick any 5 Bone affiliates. I'm talking anybody from Mo Thug, Harmony House, Thug Line, The Life, Seven Sign, Flesh and Bone Global. You can pick any 5 to form a supergroup. What 5 would you pick to make your supergroup?
Okay, first of all, one of the most underrated, never mentioned guys that is great is Q Loco.
Oh, yes.
Q Loco is definitely in it. I'm going to go with Kane from The Life. I'm going to go with Position from The Life. And I'm going to go with Big Sloan. Big Sloan, I've got experiences with these guys. They're superhuman. If you ever got a chance to run into these guys, then you would understand why I respect their hustle so much. I think I'm missing one more, right?
Yeah, you got 4.
I'm going to go with, man, it's tough between Soulja Boy and Too True, but I'm going to go with Soulja Boy, man. The talent, just you can't deny it.
It's a good pick. It's good picks. Hey, I want to thank you for calling in, chopping it up with us. And what do you think? You think we should keep doing these live shows like this?
Hey, man, I got plenty to share, man. I've been down with the Bone Ride, so it's on you guys. Like I said, much love. Thank you for the time. And I'll get that record over to you so you guys can put it out. But anything you guys want to do, I've actually drawn some pictures. I'm an artist, so I've drawn some pictures of Bone. I'll submit those so you can show them off. I drew the Blaze of Glory cover, Resurrection, the inside of it.
Wow.
And a couple of other things. And real quick before I get off, I wanted to put out there that Crazy Bone told me he has a song with Free from 106 in Park, a song with Nate Dogg. Busy has a couple songs with Method Man.
Wow.
I don't know if these things are out there or not, but I just thought I should, share with you guys.
That's news.
Bro, we want to thank you again for calling in, and we will catch you on the next live.
Hey, awesome, man. I'm going to shoot you guys an email pretty soon, okay? Thank you.
Cool.
Beyond the Harmony history right there, Andre the Giant. And that was a good selection there as well.
Yeah.
Q Loco and Big Sloan in Position, Kane, Soulja Boy. That is awesome. That was an awesome caller.
Yeah.
I just sat back and said,
we got another one. Let's just keep it. We got another one. Let's just keep it rolling here. Hey, you're on with Beyond the Harmony. Who are we talking to?
Hey, what's up? This is Ty. I'm calling from San Antonio, Texas.
Ty, what's up, brother? Thank you for calling in, man.
Hey, what's going on, man? I've been a long-time listener since day one. I've chatted with Jonathan Lippe a couple times on Facebook. I'm glad y'all pulled me into the convo.
What do you want to talk about today, Ty? We got so much room. What's on your mind?
So one thing, I'm a long time listener of Bone, and I'm like, I like the old days. I'm not real big into the Unit 5 stuff. I listen to everything. But one topic, I've spoken to Lippe about that. I don't think that y'all covered it a little bit, but not dove into, is Bone beef. I wanted to talk about what you guys think about Bone's responses over the years, going all the way back to the Eternal days, with groups they had beef with. 3-6, Do or Die, Crucial Conflict. How do you feel about how Bone's responses were to some of the hardcore direct shots they were taking early on in their careers?
So this is what I think about it, and this is what I think that Bone's done well, and I do think that they've been criticized a little bit because they were not as direct as, like 3-6. A lot of the disses against Bone were very direct. We know Bone took a real indirect approach, but this is what I truly think. Bone would have really, and it's so true, given a lot of guys a lot of shine by being that loud about him. And I think Bone knew that they were on a plateau, a different level, where they just didn't need to be giving anybody any shine. As big as 3-6 Mafia, became, we know Juicy J, even DJ Paul, they're still huge today. But at that time, they would have been giving those guys a lot of shine that was Bone. So, I've always felt like while they took the subtle approach and we as fans knew that they were directly speaking to them, I always thought it was the right thing that they didn't do a hit 'em up style direct diss back, because the guys they were dissing, it just wasn't worth them giving up that Bone shine. So that's how I felt. John, what do you think about the diss situation?
Yeah, I was gonna say that Bone had the high chair, and at the time, even though I love 3-6 Mafia, the only reason I ever heard about them was because I saw an advertisement in like the Source magazine saying that this is the Bone diss song, and I was like, why would anybody diss Bone? And so there was periods though, like when those guys were dissing him, I was like 17 and 18, so I was ready to fight, and I was like, why doesn't Bone just rip him up? Why did they have to put Majesty on him? And I was like, they should just stop him. And then it didn't happen. But then at the same time, I was like, that is cool about the high road. That's me talking now as an adult. As a teenager, I wanted them to rip him up. I wanted some hit him up stuff. But I'm glad they stayed classy. And plus, you got to think about it. They saw Eazy-E die, Tupac die, Biggie Smalls die. Probably they were trying to reduce the beef and just did it lyrically. Like the old school rappers would diss you, and they had no intention on any kind of violence. They would just lyrically murder you. And at that time period, there was a lot of, it would escalate outside of the rhymes into real life, and people were getting hurt. And it's nice that Bone didn't want to see that happen, or didn't add flame to that fire directly. They did it metaphorically.
Totally understandable. No, great responses, guys. And if I could, one other question that I slid into some of y'all's comments about the best solo album by a Bone member. I think you both unanimously decided it was Thug Mentality by Crazy Bone. However, don't get me wrong, I think that's a great album. But if you want to really go back and take it to the context, let's take it to the context of at that time when Flesh's album, so for me it's Flesh. And it's not because I think Flesh's album from top to bottom has more quality songs.
You're talking Trues.
Better than Thug Mentality. Yeah,
okay.
Trues. His first album, Thugs. And the reason I say that is because at the time, I love listening to your Mo Thugs discussion. I love going back to the time. If you really think about, Flesh had no footprint. There's no blueprint at all for what he was going to do. I remember going to Camelot one day, and all of a sudden, I see this Flesh and Bone sitting up there, and I'm like, Flesh and Bone? I couldn't even believe it. I didn't hear anything about it coming out. And now, if you think back, there wasn't any other solo album out. He was really the first one to take that leap and create a solo out of the Bone group. And Thug Mentality came years later after Mo Thugs.
Oh yeah.
They came out with several group albums, and I felt like Crazy. I mean, obviously he's the best member overall when it comes to production, and he writes most of the choruses. But Flesh was always that guy just kind of in the background, it seemed like. And to me, if you go after Thug Mentality, it's definitely Flesh. He's at least the second. It's at least the second best album. But I want to know, what do you guys ever think about? Do you ever realize or think back to the time in the context that Flesh, he really broke through and made a solo before I felt like Bone had even thought about making solos.
Yeah.
What do you think about?
Let me start this one, Cecil.
Do it.
Absolutely. When the album was announced, before it came out, I was fired up for it, because at that point it was so early on that nobody really solidified. Nobody knew who the best member was yet. They were still a new group, and I remember loving like Flesh's verses on For the Love of Money and some of the other tracks, and I was like, wow, this is cool. I'm gonna get a whole album of Fleshbone, and I was excited to get it. I bought it, unwrapped it. And actually, even before that, I think there was a single that dropped. It was World So Cruel. And when I heard it, here's why I don't fondly remember it, is because he changed his voice. I wanted to hear Fleshbone the way he sounded on East 99 and well, actually on Creeping on the Come Up. And when I got it, he had like this higher, his voice dramatically changed. And I thought maybe it was just on the single with Montel Jordan, maybe it was just World So Cruel, but no, it was the whole album. And I was so excited to get the flesh that we heard on Creeping on the Come Up. And when I heard the way he sounded on the True Humble United Gathering Souls, I was like, what? Oh no. And I'm listening to every track hoping that it goes back to the creeping voice, and it never happened, or even the creeping style, because the style changed a lot. And that's why I was like, man, what an opportunity missed. The beats were great. Flesh is good on it. I mean, I do like the album. And when I look back on it, I was like, wow, this album really was really well produced, really well engineered. But it's that initial, because you're talking about the context of the time period. I was looking, when I bought it, it's the same thing like when I got Bone Enterprise. I thought I was buying Eternal because it came out the day that Eternal came out, and they pushed back Eternal, and all there was in the store was Bone Enterprise Faces of Death. So imagine thinking you're going to hear Bone, present day Bone at the time, and you hear Bone 5 years earlier, and then thinking you're going to get the flesh on Creeping on the Come Up, getting the new flesh, which is fine. Once I got over it, I enjoyed it. But it's that initial impact where you're like, opportunity. So, but it is great. We agree. When we saw your comment, we're like, you know what? That is a really good album.
Yeah, it is funny when we remember, and we actually had a offline discussion about it. And I'm actually a big fan of that. I do agree with John that his voice did change when we went from Creeping on a Come Up to the solo Flesh and Bone album. I thought there was some change there, but we have some classics on there, North Coast and like Playa Hater, and I mean there's some really great songs on there. I've always appreciated Flesh and Bone being over on Def Jam and having the solo deal, and it's just like you said, Ty, he set what would become the solo. I think the acceptance of it came at a weird time because he had to be first up, because it was confusing, right? We had Eternal, we had this solo just pop up, and we were like, well, why is it like this? At that time it wasn't really that explained to us that he was like not signed to the group. I mean, if you're thinking 96, we didn't have the information that we have now. So I think it came at a confusing time, and that may have maybe prevented it from doing as well, as it should have. But I think it's a great album. It had a great production team. Having Def Jam behind him allowed just him to open a lot of doors. I remember talking to Bobby Jones about it, and they put a lot into it. And like I said, I mean, like a song like Playa Hater, like that's synonymous with Bone to this day. So the only thing that threw me off, how did you feel when knowing we were very used to Bone, with the way it looked, the way it sounded, when you saw that cover, the Flesh and Bone cover, did that throw you off? I mean, that was like as different as it had got really for us.
At that time, for one, there was a time period where when that and Motos came out, because I'm 34, so when those albums were coming out, I was really young, and I was purchasing them without a lot of information. And like John said, you really didn't know what you were going to get. Yeah. And when I saw that album cover, I was very unsure that this was going to be Bone-like. I mean, I know who Flesh was, but I didn't know what it was going to sound like. So that really did throw me off seeing the art. But one thing that's always kind of been like a thorn in my side is early on with Creeping on the Come Up, or Faces of Death, Creeping on the Come Up, Eternal. I like Bone not having a whole bunch of features. That is the type of Bone I want to hear. As we get into these more modern, like new waves, it's like every single track had a feature. One of the things that it was bittersweet was Crazy Bones' album, Thug Mentality, had so many features. All of the songs they're all great. They're amazing songs. And all the Crazy songs by himself are amazing. The Art of War didn't have a lot of features outside of the Affiliates, which I was great with. But it was kind of strange to hear Flesh. He had so many features, but with BG Knockout, and that was one of my favorite songs. But it was kind of sketchy with the album art and seeing all in the feature list, Rev and Run, and all these people. And at that time, Bone wasn't really known for having big name features on their songs.
I think it was,
and so
push.
that was the scary thing.
I think it was the push for them. You know, as far as it's Flesh, I'm sure they had a substantial amount of money behind it. You know, so you want to hook up some features that are going to push. This is coming out, you know, after the Crossroads. You know, we know that World So Cruel kind of plays off the Crossroads in a lot of ways. And I think that they were just probably trying to get the big push behind it. Bobby actually explained in his interview that some of these songs were very different. There was a lot more bone on this. But, you know, I think they were just probably trying to make sure that the album got the push that it was gonna. Because, again, we had no idea what a Flesh solo would be like. But I do agree. I think that's one of the best ones. It's probably the best Flesh and Bone solo. I still got to go with Crazy Bone. I do agree. Crazy had all the features, but I think that was a direct result of what you said, which is they hadn't had features for so long. And whether that was Bone didn't fuck with anybody or, you know, maybe people just weren't fucking with Bone yet. I think the Crazy Bone thing was a direct result, you know, of that, you know, that the doors are open and we want to collaborate with some people. So I think that's why we saw it so heavy on Crazy Bones. Whereas the Flesh and Bone features, I think, like I said, was probably just more Def Jam trying to get the most out of the record that they could get.
And here's a tidbit to think about is with Def Jam to associate Flesh Bone with Warren G, because Def Jam had the foresight to realize that Death Row didn't want to sign Warren G, and so they took on Warren G, and Regulate blew up and basically kept the label alive, according to Russell Simmons. And then they saw that Ruthless, I guess, didn't want to sign Flesh for whatever reason, and they took on Flesh, gave him an album, and I hope they profited handsomely off that that gamble that they took. So Flesh and Warren G are kind of like the odd guys out on these mega, you know, one's from Death Row, one's from Ruthless, Def Jam getting their hand into the West Coast. So that's a neat combination there. Yeah. And it was a good experiment. And, you know.
Yeah. All right, Ty, I want to thank you for calling in with us, chopping it up. Did you have something else?
I appreciate it, man. Thanks for bringing me on.
Yeah, man. Thank you.
I was just gonna leave you guys with this. Maybe this could segue into something, but I've seen Bone over the last 3 months. I saw all 5 of them a few weeks ago.
Oh man, that's awesome.
How busy Bone. It was very, you know, it's a rare sight to get to see all 5 members. They performed a lot of good songs that they normally don't. Let the Law In, some stuff off the Art of War, which is not too common nowadays for a Bone concert. But I'll leave you guys with this. I haven't got a chance to do a meet and greet with them lately, but what is the current state of Bone? Where are we? Will we ever see a new album with all 5 members? Has anyone talked directly to any Bone member to get a direct answer about that? I know they
I think I mean, I have no idea, but I think that we're gonna see a new Bone album with all 5 of them pretty soon. Nobody's told me that. I'm not giving you guys the inside scoop or anything, but just based on the trends, what we have going on, I think that we'll see a new Bone album. I think the thing for them at this time here is that they're waiting for the right place. There's a lot that goes into an album. There's a lot that goes into making sure that it's great. And Bone at this point doesn't just want to throw away. They want to make sure that it's, when they put out a great album, that it gets the treatment that it should. Bone came up at a time where the machine made albums great, made groups great. So, if they're going to take the time to give us another masterpiece, I think they're just waiting it out to make sure that they do that in the right place. I don't think it's because they don't want to. I don't think it's because they don't have the music. I think that they have all that. They're just waiting to make sure that it's reached by the masses the way that it should.
They don't want to wait. It's got to be the right business move. Yeah. They're businessmen at this point, like they got their mind on their business. So there's no point in just releasing a half-assed album if there's not going to be promotion behind it. But yeah. Got a question for you, Todd, real quick before you're out of here. You asked us about the Bone beef. I want to know what's your take on the Bone beef.
I felt the same way at the time. Say that again.
I meant to phrase it as beefing with rappers dissing them, and then you asked us the
Okay.
question, and I was curious to know your answer. Is what I meant to say.
Oh, well, then I appreciate it. So, I listened to everybody in the Midwest in the '90s, and I still do. And at that time, I felt like specifically Do or Die and 3 6 Mafia, they definitely got the better shots in when it comes to direct responses. Crucial Conflict has a couple of really good tracks that Wild Style just goes crazy on
Yeah.
and rips them up. However, like you said, their careers, Crucial Conflict's career never ended up being what it could have been. I felt like I'm not sure what the whole
Agree.
story is behind that group, but I felt like that group had a ton of potential and just something ended up happening. But I always felt like Bone could have responded um, a little bit more direct. I felt like even though they didn't respond directly, since they were the top group at the time, I really think that I mean, with a song like "Ain't Said No Names" on Motas, like the thing is they put time into it. I just felt like I wish they would have just given them one good, roundhouse, knockout punch to some of those groups that are going at them. But Do or Die, I think, did a fantastic job when it comes to executing the beats because Picture This and Heads or Tails, those were big albums at the time. And that was 1996, the same as Eternal, or 95. It was 96, and Eternal came out just before that. And then Heads or Tails came out in 97. And both of those albums were big time. And they didn't have a Crossroads type of hit single, but they did have some big singles. Pope Pimp was, that was a huge song with Twista featured on it. And so I think that at the time, if we were just looking at it in a vacuum, I think Do or Die did a really good job at going after Bone. And so did 3 6 Mafia. And 3 6 Mafia's body of work was so spread out. You want to talk about a messy body of work to track, you know, try to look up 3 6 Mafia's discography and all their affiliates. And but on their main albums, 3 6 went right at Bone, and they did a great job. And they had some really good albums early on with World Domination and The End. Those are probably one of their biggest albums before the 2000s came. And I think they did a fantastic job because not only did they hit Bone in the face, I felt like, but they followed it up with good singles as well.
Yeah,
I don't know.
and not only
That's
that, now that you brought it up, I didn't realize it till now that Pope Pimp kind of resurrected Twister's career and kind of made Twister a household name. He's the one that benefited the most probably from that song. He was definitely the standout over AK and Nard.
Yeah.
And Twister, now that they're all friends now, I guess, and Twister definitely came out of that. And I think that was a big, nothing's as big as the Crossroads, but Pope Pimp put Do or Die on the map, created a career for Twister. And I agree. And I enjoyed those guys secretly. Like I never talked about them on the boards, but I secretly had Mystic Styles. I secretly used to tear the club up all the time and Late Night Tip and all those tracks. But and actually I had both of the Crucial Conflict albums, and I agree. My favorite Crucial Conflict track is the one with Warren G and Corrupt. So I liked all those guys. So anyway,
that was huge.
Yeah. Thanks for calling in. That was a solid call, and it got me thinking, realizing Twister.
Y'all take it easy, guys. Appreciate you.
All right, have a good one.
Easy. Keep up the good work. Keep up the good work, buddy.
Thank
you,
you, brother.
All right.
Yeah, that was a good call. Ty comments on a lot of stuff. He's very active. I see people calling in and holding and hanging up. If you called in and you didn't get in, we're gonna get everybody in. So make sure you call back in. I'm gonna get to all you guys. I also will tell you our super chat's still active. So make sure you guys drop in on that super chat. Support the show. What do we got? We got another caller. Let's bring him on. You're on with Beyond the Harmony. Who we talking to? Yo, you're on with Beyond the Harmony. Who do we have?
Did you unmute them, or are they still on mute?
No, they're unmuted. We're gonna lose them. It's a wrap. All right. Know them. All right. Some good calls. Ty brought up some good stuff. You know, I always liked the ain't said no names. That was like them dissing them and saying like, hey, you know we're talking to you. But we're not saying your name, which kind of goes with what I was saying. So it's a good call. It was a good call. If you guys,
that was both of them. Both calls.
Yeah.
Both calls were awesome so far.
Yeah, we want to keep talking to you guys, so make sure you call in. That's what we're doing this for, so we can talk to you guys. It's 1-605-562-0444. Don't forget our show ID, which is 665-7842 when you call in. Again, that's 1-605-562-0444. If you're calling from another country, you can get the number that you should call in at callin.beyondtheharmony.com. So, guys, give us a call. Let's talk some bone. What do we have? It looks like, do I got another?
We'll post the number in the chat box too, so that people could see it.
Yeah.
Because I've been trying to follow the numbers, and like once you get through like 5 of them, I can't remember. Okay. Even though I don't need to call in. But it would probably help to have it.
Let me see what we got here. Hey, you're on Beyond the Harmony. Who do we have?
Hello?
Hey, this is Beyond the Harmony. Who are we with?
Hey, what's up, man? Excuse me. It's Vic.
Vic, Vision X1.
Some may know me by that, yeah?
Yeah.
What's happening?
What's up,
dude?
brother?
This is the real Vic. Holy cow, bro! What's up?
Holy cow! What's happening? I was just oh, my bad. I was just browsing through the phone, and it got a thing that says Beyond the Harmony Live, and I'm looking at your screen. It has all of this information to call in, and I said, okay, let me see what's up.
Yeah, that's
what's
awesome.
happening, guys?
We're hanging out. We're talking bone. This is the first time,
hell yeah!
This is the first time we've done the live show. It's going great. We've had some great interaction from the fan base that we've built up over the last year. So this is the first live show.
Beautiful.
We've been doing the call in and just talking bone. And Vic, you're a longtime Bone fan, man. Me and you have been talking Bone for a long time.
Oh yeah, it's been easily 2 decades.
Yeah,
easily.
Vic, you actually
easily.
You were like one of the first people that I worked with that I knew, that I was doing stuff with that did some stuff with Bone. I remember when you were kind of like doing the Busy Bone thing. As long as I got you on, that's a great story. Retell me your Busy Bone story.
Let me see.
Because you back then you were like doing a magazine and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. Okay, so it was like 2003 maybe. I want to say 2003. And I was doing something for a magazine. We were all on this. We were all on the forum, and it was one of the managers that I just had a relationship with, and he said, Busy's going to be in town, and I go, yeah. He said, yeah, you just want to hang out, and do something for the magazine, and I said, yeah, I'd love to. And what was it? He wasn't that far from here either, and we were hanging out, and I had a camera that was stolen. That's what I had a camera that was stolen. And I don't know who the hell stole my camera. I think I have an idea, but I just can't confirm any of that. But my camera was stolen. We hung out. We were I think the first 5 songs of what was that release at that time? Oh, the Midwest Cowboy. That's what we knew it as. We had no idea what the name of that was when we started. And man, he just dropped like 5 records like nothing. We were in the studio, and Hollis, I think was his name. He was just loading up a record, and he was like, "B, what do you think?" And then, like, before you know it, he was already just dropping the verse all on time. He just, you know, he had his books ready, and you know, he was just first few seconds and just instant. He did that 5 times straight, and there's some mistakes on that record too, I could point out.
On the Midwest Cowboy one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's at least 2 songs that I can point out a couple mistakes, and I know that there's more.
What do you mean mistakes? Like in like the mix, or like
a production? Yeah, like okay, what was that first song? When I see.
Oh, like the
song. It was that song. So there's a song on that record. I think it's called When I See, and there's a part in there in the hook where the hook was supposed to stop because that's how it was timed, and Busy knew how to time it. He started dropping a verse, but he realized that the hook is still going, so he jumps back on the hook after that part of his verse, and then when that hook part ends, he starts his verse over again.
Oh shit!
You probably didn't catch that.
Yeah, nah. I'm gonna have to go back and re-listen.
Yeah. That's like, I think it's on the second verse. That's when I clearly remember that, because there was like this look on his face. I thought it was so funny. And then years later, that record. Years later, I got the record. I didn't even get it as soon as it came out, but I got that record years later, and I remembered that.
That's crazy.
But
what was that like for you
Busy
being
was
like
a really cool dude?
You know, because like we just said it earlier. You know, John, myself, and you, we've all had interaction with Busy. You grow up, you know, listening to these what are just superhumans to you. You know, your heroes, and then you have that opportunity to do some work for them. Each one of us has had that, just that experience. I mean, was that just like, am I in a real world? Like, am I really in here with Busy Bone for you? And I mean, was he just superhuman to you?
Yeah, absolutely human. I mean, you know, he was just a guy working, really, and he just has a really cool ass job.
Yeah.
And you know, he really likes to socialize with people. He really likes to tell stories, and something that just happens to go with the environment. Actually, that I think it was, we hung out for a week, and one of those nights my cousin was with me, and he was here detoxing, and we all hung out. It was me, B, one dude that he was working there, but he excuse me, he just quit his shift. He was a Hurricane Katrina survivor.
Yeah.
This guy, he made his way out here somehow, and all of us were just hanging out. And my cousin is big on the Bible. I know B was big on the Bible, and I thought one of these would start talking about the Bible, a Bible verse, you know, within some time. I'm not a big Bible reader. I'm just not, and it turned into a Bible study, believe it or not.
Wow.
For like 2 hours. So he got the Bible that was in the hotel. My cousin had his own Bible with him. It was a little pocket one. And the story was about how much he loved Paul. I don't know nothing much about Paul, but he loved Paul. He went into the story. It's really intriguing, but I'm high right now, so I forgot. So, but no, that was, you know, that was like, yeah. I mean, you know, I don't expect that to happen, but I didn't know what to expect to happen. I thought we would just all go out, smoke out, and chill, and we did. We were smoking and reading the Bible.
That's crazy. It's so like, it's so, you know, because like you said, he's a regular guy. He does regular shit. You know, I always love to see like Busy interact with regular people, because he just acts like a cool regular guy. I remember when we did our thing with him, he ended up having a flight layover, and his Cam was his driver the whole time we had him around for the show, and so he had this layover, and he ends up texting Cam, who he hadn't seen since the show was over, and he's like, "I'm out of weed. I have no weed here." So Cam drives all the way back to the hotel, which is like an hour away, and he's like, Busy Bone came out of the hotel. He's like, we were driving around in that nice rental. He's like, I didn't have my nice rental. I had my piece of shit hoopty. He's like, he jumped in the car. He's like, I just gave him some of my weed. He's like, Busy Bone rolled it up right there, smoked in the passenger seat, listened to our album, the album that we had put out, sat there and listened to a couple tracks, and he just gave me some daps, thanked me, and hopped out the car. Said I owe you a feature for this. So Busy's a really just unique, cool.
He's cool. He's cool people.
Yeah. So
absolutely.
Vic, we do a thing called the question of the day. I don't know if you've seen us do our question of the day, but it's just a scenario that we throw out to all the Bone fans, and we're doing a live one, so I might as well throw it at you. What we're asking on the live question of the day is if you could pick any 5 Bone label affiliates, so we're talking Mo Thug, Harmony House, Thug Line, The Life, Seventh Sign, Flesh and Bone Global. You could pick any artist, 5 of them to make a super group. Who would you pick to make that group?
That's a really good question. I'm not really up to date with who's in the group since like Thug Line turned into The Life.
Yeah.
But if I had to pick some people to the best of my knowledge, if it was a dead or alive, I definitely want Tombstone.
Yeah, got it.
Graveyard Shift.
Right.
I would love to see Mr. Majesty.
Yeah, that's a good pick.
Because Mr. Majesty, like, I felt like he just never got his day.
I think Busy was really trying to lobby for him. I just think it came at a hard time. He was one of Busy's guys, and it came during a hard time for Busy. I think that's why we didn't see more from him.
I think he was in a group called The King and I. If my research shows correct, I think Majesty came from a group called The King and I. Anybody in the chat, if you could verify that, or if it's not The King and I and it's something else, let us know.
Yeah.
But I think he was from a group.
So you got Tombstone, you got Mr. Majesty.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. Well, one of the dudes from Poetic Hustlers.
Yeah.
You got Boogie Knight, Tony Tone, and Mo Hart.
Yep.
Was it Mo Hart or Tony Tone?
Mo Hart was the bald one.
Mo Hart.
Yeah. Yeah, Mo Hart's dope.
Yeah, Mo Hart. What is that? That's 3?
You got 3.
Let's see. 2 more.
Yeah.
God damn it. Let's throw who's a good singer, a good female singer from there.
Like Felicia.
Like
or like one of the girls from Trey.
Yeah, Felicia. Trey. Oh, Trey, yes. Oh, I love them. One of the girls from Trey. One of the girls from Trey in there. One who can who can rap too. I don't remember their names. That's 4.
Were you a Soulja Boy fan? Were you into Soulja Boy? He was in my pick.
I love Soulja Boy. He brings that grit, man. Yeah. He is so gritty. Yeah, hell yeah. Soulja Boy, perfect. We got a group.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Yeah, that's a good group.
Make it happen.
I'm with it. That's good.
Hey, I got a question for you though. I mean, like, talk about grit. I believe that out of all the 5 members, I do feel that Wish has like the most grittiest deliveries out of all of them. I think a lot of them, or the rest of them, try to have like this little slickness to them, and Wish just that gritty, deep voice, like that Ice Cube delivery would just work for him. I'd like to see a Wish and Ice Cube collaboration. Actually,
yeah,
I think that'd be cool.
Yeah, I think Wish is great. And
But
he is the authority. Like, it's funny because, you know, he doesn't get the props, you know, album wise or anything like that. But if you see Bone live, like, Wish is the commander of the fucking stage. Like, Wish is the one that has the mega crowd interaction. I mean, he controls the stage, and he doesn't get that. I don't think he gets those props because he certainly, you know, in terms of, you know, if you're saying Wish versus Crazy Bone, I mean, Crazy Bone's the fucking rap god, but Crazy doesn't do what Wish does on stage, and unfortunately, you know, I don't hear enough props for Wish for that, but he commands and rules the stage.
I agree. Completely agree.
That's That Bone was the jam. That's That Bone.
Yeah.
On I think it was on the Gemini album. That was the hit right there. Like, that made me say, oh man, Wish has got to get. I was thinking Crazy and Wish would do a whole like album together, like a Bone Brothers, Bone Thugs 2-man group kind of thing. That song was flames.
Yeah. Yep.
I agree.
Vic, so tell us about your Bone Odyssey, bro. How's your Bone Odyssey been? But meaning like okay, I mean, obviously we were all on the Bone, but like where did it kind of tail off, and or is it still going? Do you still keep up with them? How is Bone in your life at this point?
I haven't really kept up with them too much. One person that I really did try to keep up with was to see what was Crazy Bone's next idea, because one thing that I've noticed is that Crazy really has this entrepreneurial spirit in him that really shines. That and his techie skills. Like, I think we got a taste of that back in Mo Thug's Family Scriptures. Like, he produced some of those records.
Yeah.
And I think what was that one that he did that used Moments in Love?
Oh yeah,
Mo Murder.
I think that was like the cleanest remixes that I've ever heard of that song, and he knows how to make that work. Also, you know, I think we saw Bone get more involved in the internet around BT&H Resurrection.
Yeah, I agree.
And they were doing some stuff with DJ Unique. You know, like just trying to run the business online early in those years, and I think Crazy had something of his own during that time, and he did this thing later, trying to do coaching some young artists, and I don't remember what else he did, but I always loved that guy because he always had like big ideas.
Yeah.
You know, if anything, I try to keep up with him. But overall, it's been a while.
They're doing great stuff. This is and I'm glad you represent a bunch of fans that we have here at Beyond the Harmony who are almost like, hey, you helped restart and jumpstart Bone for me. A lot of fans that were fans that may have fallen out a little bit, getting back in because of Beyond the Harmony, and that's the total purpose of this podcast. So I'm glad that we are accomplishing that. Vic, man, I appreciate you calling in, chopping it up with us tonight.
Oh, man, thank you for taking my call.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
Yeah, man, thank you so much, Vic.
You guys take care. Talk to you soon.
Brother. My man Vic. Me and Vic have been friends since, I don't even know, 2001, maybe 2000. He's a great guy. Johnny said that his audio temporarily dropped out here, so I'm waiting for Johnny to get back in. While we're doing that, though, I will chop it up with everyone. It's been, man, this has been great. For the first one of these, it's been outstanding. I'm really impressed. I'm really thankful. So many of you have been hanging out in the chat. Let me see what's been going on in the chat. See, 1985 Gemini has been doing a great job. What do we have going on in here, man? All kinds of people in here. Oh yeah. Oh, I see people saying, yeah, 1985. I saw people saying that as well. That didn't really like get your thug on, but I loved it. I thought it was great. I thought that was awesome. I thought it was an awesome song, and I'm not even gonna just say it was an awesome song for like Wish. Like I really liked that song, so it's crazy to me that so many people didn't like that. I thought that song kind of got us excited for Wishbone. I thought that we may see more of him sooner. I did see some videos. Did any of you guys see the videos? Did any of you see the videos that were like crazy and busy, and they were like in Europe or something, and they were in the back of a fucking, I don't know, like a limo bus, and they were saying that Wish did finally have a solo coming, and that like maybe Crazy was doing like a bunch of the hooks or something. So I don't know if that's been the hold up, is maybe just Wish couldn't really get the hooks going, the way that he wanted to previously. But did anybody see that video? Because they made it sound like we would have a Wish solo coming, which, I mean, hey, I'm always into it, and because he's never had one, it's kind of exciting. It's something new. We've had a lot of solos from the other ones, but that'd be kind of cool. That finally that Wish. Johnny, where you at? Still no audio from Johnny. Johnny's still out the game. Let's see if I got anybody calling in. If you want to call in, the information is on your screen. 1-605-562-0444, and our show ID is 6657842. Give us a shout. Let's talk bone. Let me see.
Oh, Cecil, I got dropped by some firewall connection.
Oh, crazy. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I hope
Did I miss anything?
No,
is Vic still on?
No, I wrapped up with Vic, and then I saw that you had dropped out. So all good. Did you call in on your phone, or are you not on your mic?
First, I'm on a voice over IP phone.
Oh, okay.
I tried calling on my cell phone, but it like the numbers on the iPhone would not input. It was just like blank dialing, phantom dials.
Okay.
So is my mic? Is it similar? Is it okay? The audio sound? How does it sound?
I think it's okay. So it just wouldn't let you back in, huh? On your regular setup. Well, that's all right. We'll rock with it. We're live. We're fucking live. So we're doing it. I see we got somebody calling in. So if you're good, we'll jump right into another call, Johnny.
Do it.
Yeah, cool. I just want to remind everybody, if you did try to call in and you didn't get in, make sure you call again, 1-605-562-0444. We want to talk to everybody. So if you didn't get in, make sure that you call us again. Don't forget, Super Chats are still active, so if you want to show some love and support to the show, make sure you hit that Super Chat and show us some love. And let's see. You're on with Beyond the Harmony. Who do we have?
Oh, hi.
You're breaking up. We got you on with Beyond the Harmony. Who are we speaking with?
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you now. Who do we got?
This is 1985 Gemini calling in.
1985 Gemini. The moderator with the most. What is up?
Everything is good. How's everything going on y'all then?
Good. I'm really enjoying this the live format. This first show. I think we're gonna have to keep trying to do these when we can.
Yeah, I'm loving this. This is great. I'm so glad you guys are doing this because us Bone fans, we really need this. Like, we need this.
Yeah, I think
you guys have no idea.
I think it's been exciting. I think it's helped us all as fans kind of have a little unity in the community and just the questions of the day. It's really I haven't felt like this about a Bone fan since like the early days of the forums. So I think that this is just an exciting time, and it's like we said in the last call, it's bringing a lot of Bone fans back, and it's it's giving us all a place to talk. So I think it's been good, and we're excited about season 2, Gemini. I don't know about you, but we are pumped up to be getting ready to go into season 2.
Oh yes, I'm very excited about season 2 and the live show because it gives the fans the opportunity to chat with each other and to hear each other instead of just typing on our keyboard.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, that's the opportunity.
The chat's been great too. I think tonight we've had a lot of great interaction in the chat room. You've done a great job making sure that things stay smooth in our chat room. But we've had a lot of love in the chat room tonight. You're one of our best listeners. You check out every video. I see you comment on them all. What do you want to talk about tonight? Any topics on the table? What have we missed that you want to hear us talk about on Beyond the Harmony?
Well, I just wanted to ask, just some simple type questions. I know it's been asked a lot on the BTNH board, but the question that I wanted to ask, a kind of like fun question, is like, how old were most of you guys when you just fell in love with Bone Thugs and Harmony? Because I know I was 9 years old, like when I first heard Bone Thugs and Harmony. I was 9.
Yeah,
that's when I fell in love with Bone.
I think John and I did a did that end up on an episode, John, when we kind of talked about that? How
we didn't say our ages though. We just kind of talked about what brought us into Bone.
I was young. I'm gonna be 35 this month, and let's see that. The babysitter pushed the creeping on a come up on me, but I think it was in like 95. So let's see, 95. I was pretty young.
Yeah, I was 15 in 94 because I was an Eazy-E fan from 88 to 94. I even took Eazy-E side in the Dr. Dre Eazy-E beef, not realizing it was all probably fake anyway, but I stuck with Eazy. And when he put out anything, I got it, including like any Ruthless record album I was buying at the time. I had all the Above the Laws and JJ Fad. But when I saw the ad for his new group, and I didn't really understand how to say the name, Bone Thugs and Harmony, like it makes sense to us now, but if you never heard the name said, you feel like you're looking at a misprint. It's like Bone Thugs and Harmony? What? Am I reading this correctly? And then once I saw Thuggish Ruggish Bone come on the box, I left I wasn't old enough to drive, but I had some friends that were older, and I got them. I was like, yo, I'll pay you gas money if you just take me to the mall so I could get this creeping on a car. And I didn't even know what to call the album, like both the name, Bone Thugs and Harmony, plus Creepin'. I was like, Creepin' on a Come Up? It looks so weird. Like nobody talked like that yet. And so when I went to the store, I was like, hi, I would like to purchase Bone Thugs and Harmony, Creepin' on a Come Up. And they had no idea what I was talking about.
Oh, man, that's too funny.
So, yeah, I was 15.
I was, so John's got a couple years on me, so I was pretty young, and I had a babysitter that was pushing, I don't know, I think Thuggish Ruggish Bone, but I wasn't really into it. And then the Crossroads blew up, and that was just on MTV like every 20 seconds. So it's just, and at that time when the Crossroads came out, like that was all you heard all the time. So I was really young in 95, and that was just around the time. And a lot of people were kind of into Bone, and it just kind of stuck, for me, and you start to get into it. And I think initially, like the wave of fans that got in for the Crossroads probably got into it expecting all the songs to be like the Crossroads, and then you quickly found out that how versatile these guys were. But man, I was really young, and this is one of the few groups that I think that can maintain a fan base from teenage years, at least in hip hop, from teenage years to mid 30s, and they got fans in their 40s and probably older. So this is one of the few rap groups that I think we'll see with just a legion of fans like this.
What about you, Gemini?
Yeah, I was 9, so I was 9 years old. I remember when Thuggish Ruggish Bone first came on. And I was like, man, who the hell are these guys?
Yeah.
So, I was like, who are these? And then it wasn't until I think when the first of the month came out, I'm like, there they go again. So I remember one day my mama coming home with the 1999 Turner album, and I was like, Bone Thugs and Harmony. And I remember when I first popped it in and I hit play, and you get that, that, you know what I'm talking about, and then the raindrop. I was hooked from that point. Yeah, so I don't think my mom ever got a chance to listen to that album. So I had
Just swiped it.
99 Eternal before I had the Creeping on the Come Up album.
Yeah.
So yeah, I had the album first, and then Art of War came out. It was like all over for me then.
When you first got
Art of
Eternal,
War.
and the artwork, did you try to read the inside panel and try to figure out all the things?
I actually did the backwards writing that was inside of it. I actually got a mirror and I read that. I wrote it down on a piece of paper actually while I was looking into a mirror.
Yeah.
Cause I was young then. I didn't know what it mean. I didn't know what it meant, but I still wrote it down and I read it. I'm like, okay. But yeah, I was one of those Bone fans. Don't touch nothing Bone that belongs to me. Do not touch it.
Yeah.
And how are you doing? Well, actually, go ahead.
No, go ahead, John. Go ahead. Yeah.
Well, I was going to ask, how are you doing rebuilding your collection at this point?
Oh man, it's coming along very slow. Very slow. Like I lost a lot of my song collection. It's coming along very slow.
Well,
At least you have like the MP3s or like you have like digital versions of all the music, right? Just not the physicals.
Yeah, I have that stuff, but just not the physical.
Yeah, we got to do like a Gemini telethon one day to help rebuild the collection.
Help rebuild Gemini's collection. Well, we helped a little bit. She won those first back-to-back, the back-to-back. She was our very first giveaway winner, and she's been rocking with us since. And she won the back-to-backs, and we got to do a giveaway tonight as well. I said I would do that, John. So after we get through a few more calls, I think we'll have to do a giveaway, and I got a really cool way to do it. And Gemini, you could win this one. I mean, it's been a while since you've won, so when we do this, you're going to have to be listening, and you may be one of the, I got a real good way I'm going to do this. You may be one of the few listeners with everything that you need to really answer this.
Oh yes, I'm still in the running.
So
going for my third win.
We'll have to drop that. She's looking for the three-peat. Gemini, I'm going to ask you before we wrap up with you, because we've been asking, you might have done it in the chat, but we might as well do it here live. The question of the day, if you could pick any 5 Bone affiliates to form your supergroup, who would you put in it?
I remember I put Soulja Boy, Sin, Too True, Trey, and Thug Queen.
See, you'd have too many though, so you'd have to pick one member or two true, because you can only have 5 people in the group. So you only can have 5 people, so you'd have to pick one of those 2 trues, one of those Treys. It's tough, makes it hard. Say that again. You were breaking up.
One of them rap, also.
In Trey?
Yeah.
I don't think so. We didn't end up, I mean, maybe, but I don't think we ended up hearing enough from them to know if one of them, could rap or not.
Well, we could take away Trey and just add Felicia. That's my super group.
That's a good pick. It's a good pick. 1985 Gemini with the super group. All you guys, if you're listening out there, you have not answered that question. We want to see you guys answer it, so make sure you drop it in the chat as well. What 5 people that you would pick in your super group, and we're going to gear up to do this giveaway as well. 1985 Gemini, I want to thank you for calling in, chopping it up with us.
You guys, you're welcome. Thank you.
She's awesome, Johnny.
Yeah. No, I love 1985 Gemini.
Yeah. And
she brought up a good point, or maybe it was you, but it didn't dawn on me till now, is that we were talking about how we could grow a Bone 20 plus years.
Yeah.
There's not too many rap groups you could do that with. Everybody talks about Wu-Tang Clan, but I heard a guy, he was like 55 years old at work, and a Wu-Tang song came on, and it just kind of
felt weird, being there. I was like, wow, you can't really listen to Wu-Tang.
I think it's where you
I mean,
are.
you can, but
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you're in New York, I mean, or that area, I mean, Wu-Tang is what it is. I mean, I can't take anything away from them. They are legendary, and I will say that they are, Bone and them, and like, off brand shit as odd as it is, like Insane Clown Posse. There's very few rap groups that have that sustainable fan base the way like the rock groups, Rolling Stones, shit like that have. So Wu-Tang is one of them. They've survived the 25 years with their fans as well, but it's just limited. It's limited how many can do that for sure.
Yeah, and in the evolution though, I guess that's kind of what it like. A lot of young artists grow with their fans. Like a lot of like female singers, like Britney Spears and Miley Cyrus and Taylor Swift. They kind of grow with their fans, and Bone's kind of done that too. Because like New Waves, that's kind of like an adult album in a way. It's also kind of like a kid's album, but it feels new. But I was hearing. And nothing against the Wu, but it still kind of sounded like 90s music, which is cool because I like 90s hip hop. So the neat part about it was I was like, oh man, they could still make it just like it sounded back in the 90s. But then, simultaneously in my mind, I'm like, yeah, but see, Bone, their stuff sounds like 2018, whereas this kind of sounds like 90s, which is cool because they both have different audiences.
Yeah.
And you also, as a hip hop fan, you're happy that there's guys that still make stuff that sound like the 90s.
Right.
But I'm trying to just give credit to Bone for always evolving, always reinventing. That's the other part they don't get enough credit for. Madonna's always giving credit for reinventing herself. I think Bone's, and I heard it on the most recent song by Busy Bone. I forget the name of it, but it just came out like last week or the week before. It's him with some other people. And he says, like, I reinvented myself 5 times, or I rebirthed myself. He says something about how he brought himself back to life 5 times. I don't know if he meant, like, reinvented himself, but, we always talk about the different looks of Busy throughout the years and how he's just evolved and metamorphosized and whatnot. So Bone's always kind of reinvented, maybe not to the extreme of Madonna, but they've evolved and modified the sound in so many different ways over the years.
We got another caller, John. The calls have been consistent. Let's bring them through. Let's see what we got, and then we're gonna do this caller, and then I'm gonna fucking throw this giveaway on him. But let's see what we got for a caller. You're on with Beyond the Harmony. Who do we have? Dun dun dun. You're on with Beyond the Harmony. Who do we got with us? Dead air. All right, you're off from Beyond the Harmony. All right, that's cool. If you called in and we couldn't hear you, but you could hear us, hang up, try to call back in. There was an issue, but we want to talk to you. So whoever is calling from the 858 area, please make sure you call back in because we couldn't hear you. I think that we dropped this giveaway. So this is what we're gonna do, Johnny. I got a giveaway. It's pretty cool, man. It's a promo CD, so it's like a single, but it wasn't sold as a single. You couldn't walk into a store and get this. It's the promo pressing for the Tupac Untouchable Swiss Beats remix that had Crazy Bone on it. It's got the clean version. It's got a dirty version. Let me throw it up on the screen. Let's throw it up on the screen. It's got a clean version. It's got a dirty version. There's no front cover or back cover. Like I said, it's just a promotional pressing of this. I really like that song. You know the one. It samples the Notorious Thugs.
Let's get it on, because I want to get it on.
Notorious Thugs. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about, right? I was thinking Notorious.
Yeah. Oh, were you talking about the?
No. I was thinking the wrong shit. The Get It On Till I Die. I love it. It's funny. I work out. I work out every day, and that's like one of the songs that I listen to. Am I wrong? Cause I wanna get it on till I die. Just pumping those weights. So it's a promo pressing of that with the clean version and the dirty version, and it's a really cool thing to add to your Bone collection.
Pretty rare thing you're giving away there, Mr. West.
Yeah, I like to give stuff away, man. I collect it. Now I've had it. It's in my collection. There's certain things that I won't give away. There's some stuff that I just want to say that I got it on, in my hands. I got this thing in my hands, I got to experience it, and now I want another Bone fan to experience it. So that's why we're giving it away, and I know you're curious how I'm going to give it away. You ready for this?
You got up your sleeve there, Cecil.
So we're going to take a call-in. The only way you're going to be able to win is a call-in. If you drop this in the chat, I'm just not even going to see it. I'm just going to ignore it. You got to call in. I'm going to ask you a question based around Beyond the Harmony interviews, okay? I have a couple of them. So, if you call in, if you call in, you get the question wrong, and then somebody else calls in and they think they got the answer, I might hit you with a different question. So we're going to keep you on your toes. You got to be a real good Beyond the Harmony listener. But we're going to start with this one. First caller that can call in and tell me this. This happened in one of our interviews. I want to know who gave Mohart the stage name Mohart and got him to change it from his original name, which was Half Pint. This is covered in one of our interviews. There's a great story around it. Somebody gave Mohart that name, Mohart, because he did go by Half Pint, and he got him to change it. We want to know who it was. You can be the winner. We got a call in already. Let's see if this is somebody calling in with the answer. You're on with Beyond the Harmony. Who do we have with us?
Yo, what up? It's Low.
What's up, man? Are you calling in? Do you got the answer to our trivia question tonight?
You said who named Mohart? Who got him to change his name?
Yeah, so Mohart used to go by Half Pint, and he changed his name to Mohart, and someone gave him that name. Do you know who gave him that name?
Was it Busy Bone?
It was Busy Bone. Hell yeah, man. It was Busy Bone. They were walking. They were on their way to a fire. They were going to make a fire, and they had a barrel, and they needed this barrel, and Mohart carried this barrel the whole way so they could get this fire. And Busy Bone looked at him and said, man, you got Mohart. And he took the name on from there. So you're 100% right. The first caller calls in with the big win and won that promo. This is what I'm going to need you to do. Email me, or if you have us on Instagram, Facebook, direct message me. Let me get the address, and I'm going to send this out to you, the Untouchable Pressing. And you won, man. That's congratulations on the big victory. Did you hear that in our interview?
I think I did, but I've actually heard Busy tell that story, so
that's great.
Yeah, it's kind of yes.
Yeah.
But so where do I send the email to?
You can send it to beyondtheharmony99@gmail.
All right, that'll work. And is there anything I got to put in the subject line? Anything to identify myself?
Just make sure you put in your YouTube username and then just put your address in there, and we'll take care of you and we'll get you hooked up. I'm glad that you knew the answer. As long as I have you on the line with me, I might as well ask you the question of the day. Did you hear the question of the day today?
No, I didn't.
So my question of the day for all our fans is this. If you could pick any 5 Bone label affiliates, I'm talking Mo Thug, Harmony House, Thug Line, The Life, Seventh Sign, Flesh and Bone Global, any affiliate artist, 5 of them to form a super group, who would you put in your 5-person super group?
Oh shit, man! Soulja Boy is top of that list. An affiliate. I see. Majesty was alright, but I wouldn't put him in that. Because it can be dead or alive, man.
Dead or alive?
Dead or alive?
Dead or alive. You got it.
Tombstone.
Yeah.
Definitely a close second. I know you. I know you guys ain't really too keen on them, but Too True, man. Too True. So that's 1, 2. That's 4.
4. I actually really like Too True. I'm a Too True fan. I think out of all the, I don't know. I really like Too True. I you know, their album was touch and go, but every Mo Thug feature they have is fire.
Right, man. They my second favorite behind Soulja Boy as far as like the Mo Thug features, man. But the album wasn't that good. But for the fifth one, maybe Thug Queen. I'm gonna say Thug Queen.
Yeah, Thug Queen's a good one too. That's a good group. That's a good group. You picked a good group. You picked up the win for the Untouchable. Make sure too to put that you're the live giveaway winner and that you won the Untouchable promo. That way I get the right piece out to you and you get the right thing in the mail. But if you email me BeyondTheHarmony99 or send me any DM with the information, we're gonna set you up, and I appreciate you calling in and being a listener tonight on Beyond the Harmony.
One more question before I go.
Yeah, for sure.
I didn't even know y'all was giving away nothing. What is the Untouchable promo?
It's the Untouchable promo. It's the you know, the Tupac Crazy Bone song Untouchable. This is a promo pressing of that song that contains the clean version and the dirty version. It was a promo pressing that they were doing when they were building up that Tupac album. So it's just a cool
Swizz Beatz.
promo. Yeah,
Swizz Beatz produced it.
Yeah.
All right, cool, man. Well, that's what's up, man. I appreciate y'all taking the call, man.
For sure. Thanks for calling in, brother. We'll catch you on the next one. And don't forget, send me that email, man. I don't want to have to track you down to get you this bone stuff, but I will. So don't forget that email.
All right, man. Tempo, y'all be cool, man.
Johnny, we already did a giveaway. And first call in. That's crazy. I feel like that shit went so fast that I'm feeling like I might do another one.
You got more trivia and more things to give away?
I got trivia. I like, you know, so I asked him, I said, did you hear that in our interview? And he goes, I actually think I heard Busy Bone talk about that as well, which was very cool, you know, to hear that. So very cool. He knew the answer. Yeah, I got more trivia and I got bone stuff for days, bro. I have bone stuff for days to give away. I have 20 plastic bags that Sam Goody and like FYE would give you when you would buy Resurrection. They would put your copy of Resurrection in this. I have mint condition versions of those bags. I'm gonna fill one of those and give those to somebody soon. So we got a couple guests, John, calling in, some more people. We might as well try to see who we got. Let's see. You're on with Beyond the Harmony. Who do we got?
Can y'all hear me?
Yo, you're on with Beyond the Harmony. Who do we got?
I heard a voice.
Yo, check it. 1, 2, test it, mic check.
Oh, we hear you.
Can you hear us?
Man, this is the same guy who just called in and wanted the giveaway, man. I didn't hang up.
Oh, okay.
I'm supposed to hang up? What?
No, that's all right. You keep listening. He's like, I'm still here. Okay, let's switch over. He's like, I just won. He's like, I'm just kicking it with the win-ins. You're on with Beyond the Harmony. Who do we got calling in?
Yo, this Shutter boy.
Oh, shit. Shutter. My man.
What's up, bro?
Beyond the Harmony alumni, Shutter. We haven't spoken to Shutter in a while. Shutter is like one of my he is a go-to. Shutter always hits me in the DM with just the craziest bone shit all the time, man. Shutter helps the show. My man Shutter, what's good with you?
Man, working on a bunch of new stuff, man. You know, just dropped a solo project. Since the last interview we did, I mentioned the project Eternity.
Yeah.
I just dropped that. In July, like a couple months after. And right now, actually, I spoke with one of the new the represent the Mo Thug family, D. Rado.
Yeah.
We're actually in the process of putting together like a collab project. I don't know if it'll be an EP yet or LP. It might be an LP because a lot of people want to get on that right now. So we're doing a collab project called Thugs of a Nation. Because Mo Thug, my collective Star Nation, so Thugs of a Nation. So that'll be the title for sure, and that'll be available next year for sure.
And you sent me that, right? In the DM, you sent me like a little teaser artwork.
Yeah.
I love that you're, what you do like stays true to that, that bone, that bone feeling, that you always keep that, that's where your roots are, and you always kind of stay true to that, but in your own way.
Yeah, man. Of course, I work with them. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's family. But first and foremost, I'm a fan myself. Of Bone and Eazy-E, NWA, family tree. So that's first and foremost. So I always got to pay homage to that. You know what I'm saying? And give my little twist on it. And keep it alive. The new generation.
So I'm gonna ask you, because I don't know if you've been listening in, but I've been hitting everybody with this. I'm sure. Shutter, are you familiar with our question of the day segment that we do?
Yeah.
So we're doing a live one. It's our first live question of the day. So you're a fan. I'm gonna hit you with this question of the day, man. And this is a good one. I think that you're gonna appreciate this. I want to know if you were making a 5-person super group out of the affiliates. We're talking Mo Thug, Harmony House, Thug Line, The Life, Seventh Sign, Flesh and Bone Global. You can pick people from any of those. You got to pick 5 of them. Who would you put in your 5-person super group?
Yeah.
He's like, this is tough.
No, because I don't want to say like group or say like graveyard, because that's like 3 people already. So
right.
Yeah.
And you could be one of the members too, being that you're the Life alumni.
That's right.
So if you want to select it.
Shutter's like, I'm getting in this. Whatever I put together, he's like, I'm getting in.
Man.
I'm gonna tell you mine. What you think about it? Just so you know, Shutter. I put up Soulja Boy, of course. I put up Kane, Thug Queen, Tombstone, because we're talking dead or alive. And I also put in it Big B, because I just think Big B was a special guy, man. He's a loss to us as fans. So that was my 5.
Yeah.
Just like why ain't I on your list, man?
Okay. Not just all right. Man, Tombstone, Soulja Boy, of course. Let me see. Thug Queen.
Yeah.
You see here, maybe Tony Tone.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
So far, we got the same.
Lay back stuff in there too, Shit, let's see. It's just hard, man. How many is that? 4 already?
You got 4, yeah. It makes it hard because you're limited. You're like, I wanna throw in this and this. Like it's
so many people to choose from. But it's like, damn, who's that last member? Like,
well, I'll tell you what. The first 4 you picked are 4 on my top 5 as well. And my 5th was Felicia, but I don't know if that's probably yours. I just needed to throw some female balance into the mix. But we share the same 4.
Group, yeah. I don't know, man. That's just hard. I would say like maybe a Topo, man.
It's tough. There's so much ground to cover, and you got so much talent, and you're trying to think of who blends together well, So that's why I like these scenario questions like this.
Yeah, I'm trying to think different. I don't want to say, the typical ones everybody would think. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's hard because there's so many. Like, man.
Dude, look. You might as well just throw Shutter in there. We need Shutter. Shutter rounds up the group.
Myself.
Right. Shutter rounds up the group. You imagine being a fan, being somebody that was on the Life but you're a fan as well. If you got the opportunity to record with a lineup like that, I see that I see that you follow Thug Queen real close. I do as well. She's a great, she's just a great asset. Is there any chance we may see a Shutter Thug Queen collab or anything like that?
Yeah. We're actually in the process of working on some things right now. I hit her up, and she's down to work on some stuff. So be on the lookout for some music. It might be, I don't want to give it away, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But like she'll be on one of the coming projects, you know what I'm saying? And she has her own project coming herself and everything. And yeah, like you'll definitely hear a lot of her like beginning of the year for sure.
Yeah.
This is what she told me this is. So.
I know you had a bunch of things that you had hit us up with like over the past 6 months. I mean, now you were talking about this One Nation. Is that album, One Nation, the album, or is the first thing you told us about on this call? Is that a different project that you were talking about?
Working on.
Yeah. No, the One Nation thing. I created my own music blog because some of these music blogs you send just stuff to, and acting on Hollywood. So I just decided to make my own blog. Like my collective is called Star Nation, but so like the blog is called One Nation. So all the artists that submitted their music throughout that whole year, I made into a whole compilation, and it kind of reminded me of like the Mo Thug thing. So I kind of like paid homage to that thing, like the family scriptures type feel,
Yeah.
And instead of just random artists, like I made sure like everybody on that project knew they were going to be on that project, and some of the people that submitted their stuff, like I have like new collabs and stuff coming, So like it is more than just like a compilation. So.
Yeah, see, this Ashes to Ashes single that you sent, is that the same one that wound up on the Eternity album?
Yeah. That's the one that samples the Night Riders. Yeah.
Yeah, and then there was a bunch of stuff from like Sin Marley you had sent a while back. Anything you want to mention on that?
Yeah. I talked to his brother Marley East. They were there. Like a big part of the life during that time. And actually, I think he's the first one to drop like a full album on the life when he was there, like in 2012. So, and he did a video with Crazy, the All Coast Girl. So like, yeah, he was definitely a big part. And I was talking to him, and to get them, see if they want to come on the show, like talk about the history and everything.
Yeah, we're gearing up for this. Oh, go ahead, Johnny.
Well, I was wondering because I'm looking at the CD right now that you sent of Sin Marley, and on the back of the CD it shows All Coast Girl as a bonus track. Like, how would that not be track number 1 on the album, and it's just a bonus track?
Yeah, that was like the single of the album, I think. Maybe because like they didn't want to give all the attention because of Crazy, so like they made it bonus, so it won't overshadow, but I don't know.
Yeah,
I was definitely the single for sure.
We got a lot.
Check out for look up for Sin Marley, Something Like a Movie. If anybody in the chat has the album Sin Marley, Something Like a Movie, let us know.
We got a lot coming in the second season. Shutter, I got things I'm going to have you come on here for. We want to do some more things like questions of the day with some of our guests. If you guys haven't checked out Shutter's interview is it's one of our most watched interviews that we have on here. Shutter released some unreleased footage. Say that again, Shutter.
I don't know. I definitely appreciate that, man. Like, the love and, like, especially from, the fans. Like, it wouldn't be possible, for, like, all the Bone fans and, showing that love. And, like, I'm glad to help, like, inform, the fans on whatever they need to know and what happened,
Yeah. And
not in a bad way, like, some people may think like, oh, Beyond the Harmony, like, they're trying to expose Bone. It's not as exposed. We're like telling our story, so it's all real. Like nobody's, saying anything like, like that wouldn't be said in front of them. So like,
yeah,
it's all love, man.
I think what's important that we're trying to do over here on Beyond the Harmony. Sometimes we'll have some people that'll ask why we're not just interviewing Bone or why we're so focused on affiliates, and it's like I would love to interview Bone. I'm not against interviewing Bone or anything like that, but this channel is to find out the new stuff over 25 years. We've heard a lot of Bone interviews. And there's so many,
y'all know everything.
yeah, there's so much story to tell from so many of you guys, and I think that's what we're doing here. And just like you giving us the footage, we're uncovering things that we as fans just didn't know.
I'm still trying to retrieve a lot for it right now, man. I'm trying to retrieve the studio session of Reliving It when me and my cousin did our part, and a Typhoon. It's like an hour's worth of footage. That was the day after that picture. If you see me and Flesh in the booth, the day after we did that song, and my uncle filmed us that whole studio session, and even in the booth recording our parts. And right now I'm in the process of trying to recover that right now. So I'll let you guys know when I get that.
Yeah, I hope we hope we get a chance to see that and just show the fans that Shutter's brought some great exclusives. There's we dropped a lot of great photos on you guys as well of just Shutter with just so many members of Bone, and you guys really, if you haven't heard Shutter's interview, which I think a lot of you guys have, because like I said, it's highly rated, but there's just a good story there, and we're gonna have to make sure we get you in on this coming season as well. Before we wrap up with you, Shutter, is there anything else you want to let the fans know? You got so much going on, or is there anything just Bone you want to talk about?
What do y'all want to talk about? How much time we got?
Oh man, we've had, it's crazy. I can't believe how fast time flies, Johnny. But we've been doing this for like 2 hours now. We've had a lot of call-ins. We've done a giveaway. We've talked about a lot. Something that I guess I'll throw at you. We talked about it briefly, and I don't know if you've seen it, Shutter, but Archie is working on some sort of, I don't know if it's a group. I don't know if it's going to be just a compilation album, but I see Too True involved. I see Mohart. I see Sin. I even saw K Chill in there. There's something big going on.
Yeah, I definitely seen that. They got something bubbling, man. And you know what I think too, man? Like, you definitely got to, hold on. I think like Beyond the Harmony too. Probably played a part in that, man. Like, because you're definitely, bringing, the Bone family more closer, like doing this, new and old generation. Because you linked in, me and Mohart together, so
yeah,
you never know, we might do something next as well. So
yeah, it's wild. When we were doing some of those interviews, we were tagging these people on Facebook, and on my Facebook stream, I'm seeing like, Sin and Romeo talk for the first time in a long time, or Archie, reconnecting with some of these old Mo Thugs, and it's crazy to think that Beyond the Harmony helped play a role in possibly relinking some of these guys together to possibly give us some great new music in 2019.
Hey man, like they do it for y'all. I mean, y'all the fans, so when they know, like that people still want it, they're gonna give it to you. Like why, like in the old video, Soulja Boy said, he was like, you're not old yet until you can't do nothing for yourself. So
yeah,
they still got it. Man. Like, yeah, they're not old yet. Like they still got it.
No.
Sure. And even better.
Bone is gonna be the, I think Bone is the Rolling Stones of hip hop to us. I mean, we will.
Yeah. Definitely the best group, man. Like, sure.
Yeah, and they just tour. That's the other thing you got to give them too. Like 25 years, and even though we've seen Bone go through roster changes and things like that, they've never taken a year off. We've had some kind of variant of Bone doing live shows
every
for
year,
25 years.
Every year since they did.
It's amazing. It's
Yeah,
amazing.
every year they've been on.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah. And that was another, like, one of our objectives too, was to rekindle all the affiliates, the Mo Thugs, the Thug Lines, and the Seven Signs, and get them back activated, and hopefully just inspire them to just get it back together. Maybe start seeing some releases happening, and it seems to finally be getting underway a little bit. So
Yeah,
that's hot stuff.
yeah.
Yeah, I've seen.
Can you imagine like someday there may be a Beyond the Harmony compilation album, you know, of all past guests maybe or something.
For sure. That'll be big, right? For sure.
And I got an announcement too. This isn't so much targeted at you, Shutter. This is just for everybody listening in. Excel Beats has a new like spot. He's like a VP now of a record label out of Georgia. So be on the lookout. Excel Beats has done a lot of songs with Busy Bone. Three of them have been released. All I'll Ever Know, See the Light, as well as Misery. Those are the three ones that are out. But when I was out there in California, Excel played me like at least 8 other songs he had produced for Busy that he's also on the tracks, and all of them were dope. And I mean, I'm not saying that those are ever going to come out, but he's now like a record mogul. So be on the lookout for Excel Beats to come out with some pretty hot stuff pretty soon with new artists, and he's part of the extended Bone family. So
yeah,
that's the news on Excel.
Yeah, I seen the interview you did with him. Yeah, I seen that.
Oh, okay, awesome. Yeah. I talk to him every month, at least once a month, sometimes twice a month. But now that he's got the new gig, I don't know how available he'll be.
Yeah, he's a good
That's
guy.
man.
I love his songs with Busy. They're great. You know, he helps bring out something special in Busy that not everybody that works with Bone, even if they're a great producer, they don't not all understand what it should sound like, and Excel definitely understands the sound.
Right. Yeah, kind of like how the Uni 5 album came out. But I heard originally, like it wasn't supposed to, sound like that. I think it was the label that, picked those songs, the more, commercial songs, to be on there. 'Cause if I'm not mistaken,
he did argue. Actually, yeah, and let's throw that in. Excel Beats did do "See Me Shine," and it's tatted on his neck, and that's probably arguably the best track on the album on Uni 5. Is "See Me Shine."
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, "See Me Shine," "Rebirth." Yeah, those are good for sure. I definitely like a pay what you owe. So.
Yeah. Is that what was the one we love, Cecil? Creeping on, coming from sun up to sun down.
Yeah.
The facts don't lie.
No, that's not Crept in.
The facts don't lie.
Yeah. Oh man.
Facts don't lie, man. That will actually, yeah. I mean, between See Me Shine and Facts Don't Lie, those are two ill tracks. That Facts Don't Lie like captured that old Bone sound, man. Like that felt like the Bone that everybody wanted right there. Like I wish the whole album was like that one.
Yeah. No, I agree. That one was produced by Unique too, so it gave you that old school feeling. So,
what did you guys think of the Art of War 3?
I'm a big. So we've talked about this before, but I'm a big fan of it. I often say that. I remember when they started promoting that, and originally they were promoting it, and Unique was working on it, and the whole group was involved, and it happened right around that time where Crazy and Wish kind of stepped away from the group, and that's why the project didn't get the treatment that it was supposed to, and the project actually got dropped for a while and wasn't even going to come out. Luckily, they stepped back in and finished it. Even what we have, we can consider unfinished, which is unfortunate because I think that's some of the best Busy Bone that we'd heard in a long time. Songs like 100K, you could only imagine what that would have been like to have the entire crew on that. So I think that album is, even now, you know, probably kind of a little shunned by fans just because it's unfinished the way that in comparison to what it should have been.
Right.
But man, there are some gems in there. That thing had the making of being a great album. It just didn't get off the ground the way it should have. I also, you know, probably calling it the Art of War or World War III, you know, that may not have been the move, but you know.
Right. Yeah, because originally I heard the album that was supposed to be called A Majority Rule.
Yeah.
One thing I forgot to mention in my last interview, I'll mention in the next one, is the time like you know when Crazy left, and you know that was the time like they was working on that album. So like I'll mention you know like that whole little story on the next episode.
See, we're gonna have to get Shutter back on. Shutter's got stories for days. Shutter's family, his roots and bone go deep, you know, deeper than just Shutter. We briefly covered it, but we're gonna have to cover it further. Shutter, I want to thank you for calling in on our first live call-in show. I think we're gonna do some more of these. This went over pretty good.
Oh yeah, man. You know you have to call and support, man. Like, you know, I definitely show love, so you have to show love back, man, for sure, man. It's all good.
It's awesome. Thank you, Shutter.
You know, if we end up making this like a routine, you might have to be a like a repeat caller in, like the Shutter segment.
Right.
Oh yeah. It's all good, man. Like, you know, of course, you know, I'll let you know everybody else call in, but I'll call in, you know, for sure. I want to take up, you know, too much time and everything, you know.
Yeah. Hey, once again, we appreciate you calling in, Shutter. You guys, if you haven't checked out Shutter's interview, make sure that you guys do. It was one of our, like I said, it's one of our highest rated segments. He had a great interview. He's got really deep roots in it. I'm not going to give too much away because I want you to check out the interview, and I want to make sure that we leave, you know, plenty for his next, you know, interview as well. John, it's been good. I think we have another guest. Do we have time for another guest here?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. Let me see. I want to make sure I don't line out. You're on with Beyond the Harmony. Who do we got?
Beyond the Harmony. What's up?
What's up, man? Who do we got?
This is Therese.
Oh, Therese. Therese has been waiting to call in. I see you made your way through all the crazy prompts, and you were here live on Beyond the Harmony. I know you've been waiting for this episode. Therese, what do you want to talk about tonight, brother?
Man, I have been waiting and requesting this for the longest, and I almost missed it because I looked on it today and it said 9 Central. So I was sitting there waiting for 9 o'clock, but some said, you know, check on your check your notifications. And I looked and it said live. I was like, oh Lord, I probably missed it. But I'm here and I made it.
I'm glad you made it through.
Happy to be on live, guys.
Yeah.
First and foremost, to answer the question of the day, my 6th member will be Twister, and that's based off Ain't No Hoes. I heard all the other Twister and Bone collaborations, but it wasn't to Ain't No Hoes, and I said, damn, Twisters fit perfectly right in. So that's to get that out the way.
Yeah, you're doing the question of the day that we dropped. Yeah, Twister would definitely. I mean, of course, he can. He fits the mold, and I think all the Bone Twister songs that we've heard have all been great. So,
but that one's the best though. Ain't No Hoes, that's the best Twisted Bone song out of all. That's my favorite one.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I love that track. I love that beat, the sound. Yeah, man, the hook.
Therese, did you hear though? We're doing a live question of the day. Have you heard the live question of the day that we're doing?
I didn't hear that live question of the day because I literally got in like soon as y'all seen me in the comment section of the live was exactly when I had tuned in. So I didn't hear it.
Oh, this is good. Then I'm going to drop this on you, and he hasn't even had time to think about it. So this is the live question of the day. Lots of people have answered it. Me and John answered it. A bunch of people calling in answered it. Shutter just answered it. It's a big one. if you could form a 5-person supergroup using the Bone affiliates, I mean Mo Thug, Harmony House, Thug Line, The Life, Seventh Sign, Flesh and Bone Global, you can pick 5 people to form the supergroup. Who would you pick? And remember, if you say 2 true, that counts as 2. So you only get 5 slots.
Perfect. 2 True and Trey.
That's it. That's your group. Trey and 2 True.
Yes. Because if I believe, like, them is the ones that I didn't get to hear a collaboration, like, in all of the Mo Thug songs.
Yeah.
I don't think I have ever heard like, them two. I always wanted to hear, like, 2 True and Trey, just them 5 on the song together. So that's who it would be.
I really enjoyed, you know, Trey. It's not, you know, everybody's favorite, but like even like their first of the month remix, I really loved them coming in on that. I just thought Trey was like a cool addition to Bone. You know, of course, we'll never forget them in the Crossroads opening up the video and stuff. So I think that's a cool group, 2 True and Trey.
Yeah, and then also with like Trey, to me, like I feel like they could have been like a real good, like, you know, good R&B group. You know, just off the song with them and Crazy. I just now heard that song probably this year.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, up until this point, I never heard them like this before. And so I was like, man, they had the potential to be a good, you know, super group. Not a super group, but R&B group, and go, you know, head to head with the TLCs and, you know, Escapes and everybody like that.
Yeah, I think and we talked to, you know, just guys like Bobby Jones and Romeo, and you know, initially that it looked like the push from Mo Thug was gonna be, you know, Trey, and that was coming off the hot heels of them opening up that video. I mean, the Crossroads was so big, so many people knew who Trey was without even knowing that they knew who they were, that I think they were gonna try to go real big with them. You know, who knows what we would have seen. It looks like they got that one single and then it kind of fell off. But, I mean, they kind of made everything that they were part of when you think of that first Mo Thug album. I mean, when they would come in singing, it changed the direction of that track. So I would have been interested to hear more. Yeah, of course. And even like the final, the family scripture song, when they come in singing on that, oh man, I fucking love that.
Yeah, definitely Trey. If I could do, like, if Trey didn't exist, if I could do like another group of most of, I've always did 5, but I always wanted to hear Thug Queen and 2 True on the song together as well.
Yeah, that would have been dope. Did you earlier you would have missed this, but earlier we were talking about the Thug on the Line album and the female rapper Boss, and she was an older rapper, but Crazy was getting ready to sign her to Thug Line at that time when he did Thug on the Line. Did you like Boss? I thought she was fucking hard as fuck.
I don't think I've ever heard her. To be honest, like, the only solo Bone album that I've heard fully is Heaven's Movie. I really haven't. It's a shame for me being a Bone fan.
Oh man.
You know, because I have, like, I've heard you know, Thug Mentality, like, but not all the songs because it's a double disc. But I haven't gotten to, you know what, I take that back. Those are not the only Bones, because I'm 27. I got into Bone around 2003, 2004. So my first Bone albums that I had bought was Busy Bone, Alpha and Omega, and Crazy Bone, Gemini Good versus E. And then I ended up with East 1999 Eternal after that.
Wow.
That represents that's an era that we never even thought of, because we always thought it was the '94 and then the 2006-07 era. So 2002. So what got you to what was the first thing that hit you that got you into Bone? Like, what was your first Bone experience then? We know the album, but like how did you first get introduced?
They was just always like around, like they were just always in my ear. It seemed like they always found a way to make their way to me, like just coming up. Once I got old enough to like pick my own music to listen to, like I was like, who was the guys that made the song with? Because I remember the For the Love of Money video, even though it came out when I was probably like 2 or 3 years old.
Yeah, you would have been young.
And you know, Crossroads, the Crossroads with Wishbone saying, and I miss my Uncle Chaja. Y'all, like those always stick to me in home. Like them songs always stuck to me, and so it was like it wasn't like a specific thing. It was like I just gravitated towards them. And once I like went to the store and had enough money to buy it, and I seen like them two, like I seen Busy Bone and I seen Crazy Bone, I was like, I know who they is. Them the guys that made these songs. So I bought them CDs and was like, man, this shit is cool as hell. I liked it, but it was a wrapping up.
It's funny. Everybody's awesome. Like story on how they got into Bone is like a little bit different, but it's like everybody like gets into it for different reasons. But it's like they just find a way to keep us captivated and keep us as fans. If you haven't had a chance, check out these solos, man. So many of these solos. We spend a lot of time talking about these solo records. You're definitely gonna want to. Take some time and check those out. I think you're going to be really blown away with a lot of these solo records that Bone has put out over the years. They're masterpieces.
Yeah, and check out because it seems like you're into the female rappers, which I like them too. The ones that Mo Thugs and Thugline puts out. Check out Thugga Level, and it's on Crazy Bone, Thug on the Line. That's the one featuring Boss and Larice, and that's the track we're talking about. It's a slamming track.
Oh,
when it came out, even to this day. It's
is when Crazy Bone got this Black Panther kind of look going on, and that was that the red and everything.
Yeah, he's got like a beret on. Yeah, it's on that album. It's like track 5 if I remember correctly. It's really good. So I recommend that one.
Yeah.
But everything Bone does is good, but that.
I do have 2 songs that I like off that album. I just haven't heard that album entirely, and that's the song with Sade, and that's the Time After Time After Time of My Life.
Oh yeah.
Them the 2 songs off that I do like.
Time After Time too.
Yeah. Time After Time. That one, and then Talk to Myself with Tiffany. I think that was everybody's favorite track at the time. Everybody Want to Be Thugs was dope. That album was dope, front to back.
It was good.
I don't think I skipped anything.
I think what ended up happening with that one is there was just so much steam for Thug Mentality. So it was like it wasn't a double disc, and it felt different. So I think it was received differently from the fans. But when you look back on it, I mean, I loved it as soon as it came out. But when you look back on it, it's like it's a great record.
Yeah, and it holds a place like in my life because it was the first like long commute job that I had. So that was the music. That was my soundtrack to get to work. Was that like by the time that album finished, I'd be at work.
Yeah.
Yeah. Another album that came out around that time that I also bought. I don't know how many of the fans feel about it because it's classic, but to me it's a classic because I was listening to this when I was 14, 13 years old, and that was, this one, the cover of that one shocked me because Busy Bone was bald as shit. I was like, what the hell? I was like, okay, I'll take it. Busy Bone, bro. So,
yeah.
So that's another thing that's for me.
Well, Torres, I know you've been waiting for this show. Was there anything? Was there a specific topic about Bone that you wanted to talk about with John and I?
Yeah. It's crazy. Like I've had all these questions and stuff now because it be stuff that you guys would like questions of the day and stuff. But I'll be having my opinion for certain things, but I can't type it through because I'm a speaker. Like I can't, type this whole conversation out. So it's like I was like, man, I wish they would do like a call in so people can like voice it. You know what I'm saying? So. It's like it is now. I'm having brain farts right now.
But you were the inspiration. I think your comment is what spawned. I think we finally said, you know what, it's time. So I mean, half of this is because you almost are the one that made this happen from that comment.
That's why
I was like, you know what, let's do it.
That is a good question. I was like, what made? That's a question that I did have. Like when I first seen the post, I'm like, well, what made them, come do this with me? Like, okay, cool. I'm glad my persistence came through on something.
So a lot of people had asked, and then you've been asking a lot recently, and it's we've talked about it for a long time, but there's a lot of variables. There's been a lot of variables, and finally when you asked, I was like, man, I wanna talk to the fans, and this has been a great experience with them. I think this has given us all a good chance to do this. So many of you check out all the content. We appreciate that, by the way. And this has been great, John. I think we're gonna have, this is gonna be a new thing. We're gonna have to make sure we're doing these.
And they all just came back to all the questions. They all just came back to me. So okay, one of them, I think, I don't know if this was a topic of the day, but I'm going to throw this out there and see what you guys think about it. And that is, if you could pick the producers for a new Bone album with all 5 members, what would you guys pick? So for my pick, my producers would be DJ Unique, of course, Tony C, Kenny McLeod, DJ Paul, Smoke Perk Ghost or something like that. Ghost Perk, I don't know his name, but that guy, and also the guy that did the New Waves album, Abaddon.
Yeah, Abaddon's awesome.
So you're looking for, if we were making like a new Bone album, we could pick like a 5-producer team to do it. Who would we pick?
It don't have to be 5. Those were just the top ones that I had picked, and it just so happened to be 5 producers. But it could be African producers.
Let's call it 5. That adds a little some guidelines to it. I think 5 is good. We got 5 Bone members, so 5 producers to work with them. Johnny, you wanna hit this? You got this?
I'll start. Obviously, first and foremost, DJ Unique.
Yeah.
We got to have Unique on that. That's number one. Second, and I have a personal tie to this. I would love for Excel Beats to do a Bone album or a Busy Bone album. That may actually happen, but I definitely have Excel Beats as one of the producers. Third, I'd have Abaddon, because that was New Waves just took it to a whole new level. I'd have the guy that came to Mizza. You got to have Demiza as one of the producers.
Yeah.
So I'd have Demiza. Yeah. And for my last producer, I'd probably go with Tony C. He makes the magic along with Unique.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't put too much, because those top 4, I needed to have those 4, and then Tony C will be my 5th.
Okay. I would grab, obviously, DJ Unique. I think that's a given. I would grab Bobby Jones, because I think Bobby Jones has worked with them from the beginning. He knows what Bone should sound like. It's he just knows. He's got something. And I think the same thing can be said for Archie. But I think that Bobby is just a little bit different in the scenario, whereas he worked. I don't know. That's tough. But I guess out of the two of them, I'm gonna pick Bobby. So we'll go Unique. We'll go Bobby. I would take Demiza as well. I think Demiza does great stuff. You had mentioned Tony C. And I do like Tony C. It's tough. You got Tony C. You got like LT Hunton is a good pick. Let's see. I would go Unique.
While you're thinking, I want to swap Tony C for Swizz Beats. I just thought about it. I was like, I think you got to have Swizz on there.
Really? Yeah.
For me.
I know.
Yeah. I was happy because whether or not the production's happening, he's going to have some business acumen and marketing skills and packaging and stuff. So I'm going to swap Tony for Swizz, although Bobby Jones is a great pick too.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry for cutting you off.
Oh, that's cool.
So who was your number one? Did you have Unique on your list?
Yeah, I'm gonna go Unique. I'm gonna go Bobby Jones. I'm gonna go Demiza. I do think I'll do LT Hunting. LT's just, you know, he's been there. He's been consistent. You know, he's had a lot of consistency. I'm trying to stay to Bone ones too. There's obviously a lot of other producers I'd love to hear him with, but I'm trying to think of the guys that kind of helped make that Bone sound that we're all used to. So I guess I would take LT and a number 5. A number 5.
Is Romeo considered a producer too, or just a musician?
Oh, I guess that's true. That is true. I'd take Romeo. That's a good pick. Yeah, you fucking answered it for me. I would take Romeo, no doubt, because Romeo just had those guitar licks that were needed. So we're going DJ Unique, we're going LT, we're gonna go Demiza, Bobby Jones, and Romeo. That would be my 5-person super production group if I was keeping it to just like the Bone ones.
And I got to throw a 6th one in there because I forgot about him. But I had him just because he always had a sound that I always thought would fit Bone, but I just never got the chance to hear him with them, and that's Traxxas. That's who the one who did like Twister stuff. I was like, his sound will be good with them as well.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Traxxas.
Yeah, the Track Masters.
Yeah.
Track Masters.
No,
yeah.
Traxxas. One with like Adrenaline Rush and
Track.
You know, a lot of
Yeah, Twister's guy. He was good. I used to love those Twister
He
beats.
did Kill 'Em All too. He did Kill 'Em All.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff. So yeah, him as well. You know, I went with Abaddon because I was like, when I listened to the New Wave album, and I just went to go look at the productions, I'm like, okay, so who did this? Because he did such a good job as far as like, you know, taking their style and like, it was like they still Bone, but it was like them today. You know, it was like today version of Bone.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, cool. Like, cause that song, the new song that's out with Burner, that they cut Wish and Flesh's verse out, then in Short and Busy's verse, that beat was like insane. You know what I'm saying? And so yeah.
I think you had a good question of the day. We may even have to put that as an actual question of the day as well, for everybody else to answer. I see a lot of people answering in the chat. Bro, I want to appreciate you for you helped inspire tonight's show. I'm glad that you didn't miss it. I'm glad that you got a chance to call in. I think we're going to keep doing this, so you're going to have to make sure that you call into them all. And you know, it's been good, man. You helped inspire a movement tonight.
Yeah, I'm so excited. I can't wait to the rest for more of this. And I hope this isn't the last one. I got a feeling. I feel it in my gut that it's not going to be the last one. So yeah, I'm excited. Thank you guys for doing this and creating this community for all the Bone fans to come in and just commentate and, you know, conversate within each other. And I'm excited. And before I leave, also I'm excited to hear, you know, the interviews you guys do have to come with Cairo, who did the Strength and Loyalty cover, because I thought that was the same guy that did. That's actually the best cover I've seen since I believe the collection, because I know as far as like in that realm of in that type of Bone album, you know, look. So when I found out it was somebody different, I'm like, man, they got to interview him. He must be a fan.
Yeah,
he had to be a fan of Bone. So
Cairo's a man. We're gonna have him on the next season for sure. We were supposed to have him on the last season, and some things prevented it. So we're gonna definitely have Cairo coming up on season 2 as well. So, you know, we're excited for season 2. I can't wait for you guys to hear everybody that we're gonna be interviewing in season 2. We're really gonna just reveal some new stuff. So you guys stay tuned for season 2. Trez, again, I want to thank you for calling in, man. I hope you have a good rest of your night, brother.
All right, thank you. Have a good night, guys.
Night.
What? I have a guest trying to call in. Okay, I got a guest trying to call in. Hopefully, they're gonna get to call in. It's gonna be crazy if they call in, and we'll probably take that call, and then wrap it after that if he gets through. Just while we're waiting for that call, and actually, I guess what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and turn off.
And I hope it's who I think it is.
Yeah, this is gonna be a big one if I can get him to call in.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Hopefully.
Oh my goodness.
Hopefully he.
Well, while you're working that, well, actually, you're probably working behind the scenes on that. But I think at one point, did we ever discuss 100K? Because if so, if not, at some point on a future episode, we got to discuss 100K.
I think we have a little bit.
And
it's one of
we
my
should probably
favorites.
Yeah, we probably should get into. I mean, time, but like at some point, review some more albums. Maybe with the chat going. I don't know. Actually, while you're doing that, let me search through this chat. I did see some interesting things come through. Legendary Traxxers. Yeah, that was the name I was saying Trackmasters. I meant to say Legendary Traxxers. And they were the bomb back then. They had, like, when Unique kind of left and Legendary Traxxers were making the hot shit. We even had some people did their own 5. Scott Storch, Dre. See, Dre, I'm kind of like over those Dre beats. Like so many people have imitated the Dre type of beat at this point.
Yeah,
that it's like, yeah. So I'm waiting for Dre to come up with his like next kind of thing. That like they all sound like that track X, but by Exhibit nowadays, like everything just feels like it imitated that.
Yeah. Yeah, the Dre tracks, it's funny because the Dre tracks were so, just big and popping, and it's just like you said, so many people have done it, redone it,
Is Timberland still doing stuff?
Oh, yeah.
He's still, like, even...
He was like, DJing a little bit for a while, too. Like, I think that's a normal transition for a lot of producers. Go into the DJ gig, DJ a bunch of hits that you had. If you're Timberland and you decide to DJ, just think of the array of hits you can play that are just yours.
Yeah, that'd be crazy. That'd be crazy that you have a catalog that big that you could just. But did I ever? I don't think I ever told you about the MC8 album. I mean, Bone's not on it, but did you ever see the track list on that? The one that recently came out? I think it was called like California, something like that. MC8.
No.
Did you know that it was like last year or the year before that he dropped an album, and I think it was produced by DJ Premier, and it had so many features on it, like Be Real, the Exhibit was on it, Dub C was on. Like every track had a featured guest from like our era, and it was well produced. I'm assuming it did well on the West Coast, but I never seen any like marketing for it. But if you ever get a chance, look at the track listing, and it's like when you hear the album, you think this is 20 years too late. If this would have came out, in the 90s, this would have been a 5 mic, the Source magazine classic.
I had a big guest that was about to call in. He's having some trouble. He says that when he's trying to call in, it's saying that we don't have a live show right now. But people have had no trouble calling in. I'm gonna open up the line again. Somebody try to give us a call. Let's talk about some Bone Thugs.
Yeah. So 100K. Something happened in one. Actually, let me say this. It's been amazing. Everybody that's called in has been awesome.
Oh yeah,
Like,
so many great
and
callers.
it's in my mind, it's evolved. Yeah, and just hearing everybody else's perspectives calling in, it's modified mine and like modified how. Like now we know the spirits of people. So I think as we go forward, it's going to modify the content, and it's kind of like we all kind of had a meal together in a way. You know, we all communed. So I think as we grow this, as we continue to evolve, today has changed a lot. I think today has changed the story, as Bone Thug said on New Wave, but in a positive way, not a sad song.
This was you know, just like the podcast itself, I had no idea what this was going to be like. You know, this was great.
Yeah, this is way better than I thought it was going to be, by the way.
Yeah,
this
John,
really turned out good.
Tell him what you thought. This fucking John was mortified that we were going to do this shit.
Oh yeah, so when Cecil, when we first decided to do it, after Therese had suggested we do it, when Cecil was gung ho about it, he was like, let's do this, and I was thinking that it was going to be like an open mic night where everybody could dial in all at one time, and it's hard enough just when we have three people on the phone to actually, even when it's just you and me, we're always talking over each other. So I was thinking that just anybody could call in all at once, and it was just going to be a bunch of noise. And then after you started to explain, you didn't explain it to me, but after you were like when we were plotting out how we were going to do it, then I realized like, oh, it's a call-in show. One person calls in at a time. You control the boards. That's nice and orderly. It's not going to just be one big chaotic mess.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if all of us were trying to talk at one time?
Oh man.
So that's what I thought it was, and I was so relieved once I realized what you were talking about. I was like, oh, yeah, this is going to turn out much better. Okay, I couldn't imagine you being okay with just a free for all noise machine, and I just couldn't imagine you know. And then once I figured it out, I was like, oh, okay, yeah. Cecil was always thinking 3 steps ahead of me.
I'm gonna try something on our side, John. Don't get nervous here when you hear it happen, but I'm gonna try something on our side.
Recording paused.
See if we can.
Recording started.
Get these lines open back up for whatever reason. Call-in problems right now. If somebody wants to try to give us a call, let us know if the call-ins are working for you guys.
He probably faced the same situation I was having when I tried dialing in. It's
the lines have been hot.
It dials in, you hear the operator. Yeah, but what happened is when I tried dialing in the code, the phone wouldn't receive the input, and that's happened to me a lot of times. Like at work, when I dial into conference bridges, if I'm on a cell phone, as I'm typing in the numbers, it's just like I'm tapping the screen without tapping numbers. It like didn't care that I was dialing in. But then if you hang up and try again, then it works.
It's just not giving them the show ID. It's weird. It's saying that there's not a live show for them to call into. So maybe we Jesus.
Oh, has it passed 10 o'clock?
It did pass 10 o'clock, but that
maybe there was a time limit.
The fuck is that? The fuck is that? Says
maybe
we're live.
Yeah, I heard a pause and I heard it come back on. I mean, it looks like we're still streaming on YouTube. I still see text coming in on the chat box. Mm-hmm. And actually, I've loved all the corrections because I made a lot of. I can't remember everything all at once. It's been years.
Yeah. Well,
there's some pretty good suggestions in here for some guests for season 2 as well. That's actually probably what.
I get, let me try one more thing, John. I guess I won't do that. It would drop us. I don't want to drop the whole thing. Man, I guess if we can't get that call in, that's bumming me out, bro. That's too bad. That's too bad. Boy, we had a good one for you guys. So, they're trying to call in. So people are having the same trouble trying to call in. So it looks like there's a problem with the bridge. Johnny, do we want to try to fix this, or do we want to wrap this?
Well, it'll leave something to be desired for the next live stream.
Okay.
I mean, it would be great. It would be great. But
you know what? I know I'll get him to call in on the next one. I know we'll get him to call in on the next one. He's got stuff he wants to tell him. So I think we've had a real powerful night tonight. We did a giveaway. We had a lot of great calls. We've maintained a great amount of people in the chat. Shout out to our chat room. Our chat room has been amazing all night, John. What a fucking historic night for Beyond the Harmony, for Bone. We've had a crazy amount of guests. Just so you know, bro, tonight, I mean, in our chat room, we had Rob J, we've had Capone, we had Shutter call in. We've had an abundance of people. Archie
was there too, right?
Yeah, fucking Archie jumped in the chat. Just amazing, man. Just amazing. Our bridge is not accepting any more calls. But I think that's all right.
Yeah, and I'm sad my phone dropped when you had Vision X1 on, and my phone dropped. I had some questions for Vic, so he'll need to be a repeat guest as well.
Yeah, I had a great time, man. I think
at some point.
Is it a wrap? Is this it, John?
Yeah, it's a wrap. I'm like stir crazy right now. I've been in this tiny little room, and but it's been great. But like I'm gonna need to walk around the block at this point.
Yeah.
Because there's just so much going on, and we were on for like 3.5 hours, I think, right?
Yeah.
This is the Beyond the Harmony marathon.
Right.
we could have fed the hungry with the telethon. So, but hey, look, everybody that called in was awesome, provided awesome perspectives. Everybody like knew how to kick it, and it was great. It was great. It was like having other members of Beyond the Harmony on the show, like other guest hosts. So I enjoyed everybody calling in. This was a wonderful time for myself. I'm pretty sure for Cecil, and we're definitely going to do this again at some point.
Yeah, probably sooner than later. I see people already asking when the next live show is. We'll have to put it together soon. We're gearing up for, we're gearing up for season 2. I see somebody said do it once a month. Once a month seems pretty cool. That way it doesn't get overplayed. So we'll see what happens. But I think we had a great show. This is Beyond the Harmony Live. I am Cecil West with the one and only
Jonathan Lippe.
And we love Beyond the Harmony. We love you guys. Until next time, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you tell a friend about Beyond the Harmony. Let's keep these things going, and we'll catch you on the next one. We are out of here.